HERETICS for a huge hit onto A. A slower roll here from OpTic Texas. Maybe some mid-control. Hugh first in.
Yeah, with the bomb as well. Keep that in the back of your mind. Stuns continue to be on point for HERETICS, so they got the information.
They've not even checked this corner, and Hugh can only find one, but it will be a trade all across the board. But Mercules gets it in the end. And everything just went into a gunfight in half a second.
Yep, and again, this is like a teamwork sequence as well. Everybody on OpTic sort of in the funnel position, ready for the trades. Everybody swarms as soon as those first bullets start to ring out. And I think Rancor just having a very difficult time playing against OpTic right now. Still sitting on a donut, I believe, and just looking the wrong direction. Everybody in OpTic, again, it's a long-term map we've had. Been in the rotation all year, been in the rotation multiple years as well. They're on form as Rancor, again, looking to find his first.
Bit of information coming out. Nade over. Actually trying to stay alive with Shotzi here. HERETICS not putting the pressure on quite yet, but they have got a 3-stack over here. They're also checking the flank, which is always a good idea against OpTic Texas. Super just getting a bit of bad timing, losing out against Mercules. Oh, Hugh. Super sneaky. Will find the second as well. Their chance, and looking for the third. He's going to fly out the window. Just goes for it. Another kill going in here. Mercules with the pistol won't get it. Metals brings that one home. 2 versus 2. 2 versus 1. Oh, Shotzi just cannot get out of there in time. Chance.
And credit to Metals as well for that one. Nice little 2-piece. I think HERETICS have maybe had 2 rounds now where the smoke's on point enough to cause the confusion to win the gunfight at close range. And Metals not just good for 2, good for the final one as well. And great communication for the HERETICS players as well. Jumping back and forth, double-chowing everything together. OpTic absolutely had to set up on the minimap to make the play, but Metals just catches them.
4-4. OpTic again, potentially looking for some control over towards middle.
Almost there.
Actually watches over here, but this is aggressive. Miami HERETICS have put bodies deep here. They're trying to squeeze this one out. Rancor needs to reinforce. Get into the fight, Rancor. Advantage HERETICS. Breaks through the door. Goes down to a 2 versus 2. Maybe a little bit too aggressive here. Oh, it's a 1 versus 2 for Rancor. 0 and 8. This is your chance to shine. And you haven't. Shotzi finds him easily enough. 5-4 OpTic takes his chance.
Yeah, I mean, this is discomfort on the side of HERETICS, or at least for the AR players. I mean, they had the 3v2. They had everybody grouped up together, but just different philosophies, I think, amongst these players. Trakes hits the absolute go button, sliding out the driveway to try to catch these players, but he slides into a pre-aim. Neither one of his teammates really there for the trades. Super ends up getting isolated on a gunfight over towards Zig. A situation where everybody's just near each other, but they can't quite figure out what they want to do together. So OpTic, well, round away from being up 2-0 in the series.
Huge push from HERETICS. They've started middle nothing. Rancor's already found one potentially, but it is a 3 versus 3. Rancor finds one more. Advantage here to HERETICS. And he knows where Shotzi is. He's already caught out. Now a 1 versus 3, and they catch him. That little bit of information allowed Rancor to make that move, and, well, it gave him the round chance.
That's gorgeous. Classic Miami style as well. 4-man hit through the middle of the map. Forced the issue there with the teamwork. And get enough trigger discipline for Rancor that Shotzi walks back into a situation, thinks he's undetected, thinks he has the timing, but Rancor had him dialed in the entire way. He struggled in this game, but pros always say once you get the first one in Search and Destroy, it helps so much, and Rancor needed that, because here we go into the round 11.
Everybody hold on. Aggressive for OpTic. Looking for a bit of A control. The rest of them holding back here. Supi has the sniper out. Almost catches them. Shotzi out towards middle here. The one thing that Miami Heretics do not have is map control yet.
Well, leaning towards B, though. So Super, plenty of time to work on this island. Meanwhile, his teammates near the B bomb site. Drakes makes it, but he's tagged up a one shot. This is your bomb guy. Has to stay alive. This is going to torch so much time.
Come Shotzi. We know he's going to go for a little bit of a chat at some point. Looking for the first one. Hugh gets medals, though. Shotzi still holding stairs here. Miami Heretics have nowhere to go, and there's three of them all lined up. Still back off. Time burning. Bullets thrown. And Heretics a little bit scared. They're going to go for the rotate. Hugh is going to call this one as well. Information gained. OpTic will now swing into action. 22 seconds left. This will all end very, very quickly. Heretics still in spawn. They've got nowhere to go, Chance.
And they're going towards B, and Mercury's here just getting the intel. Well, there's the shoulder, there's the drop, there's the miss snipe. Now you're forced to plant, but the swarm is in, and OpTic slam you in the round 11. S&D wins championships, and hey, they got it done there in the map too, as clutch as you need them to be.
Well, we've been talking about the heat dome over Europe because Miami Heretics have no ice. This has just not been their time. That was a very slow burn from them, and if anything, they kept giving up more and more ground chance. Around 11, that just did not pay out at all.
Yes, and if you're doing the tally, that would be 8 first bloods there for the OpTic camp. Of course, it does go all the way to around 11, so typical for Super. 1v2 clutch he was able to get. Metals had a bailout moment, picking up a 2-piece in round where OpTic were swarming everywhere on the map, but in spite of the heroic efforts, ultimately just a clean game coming through for OpTic. Everybody out there doing their job.
A very close S&D, and if anything, it was a little bit weird. I mean, you felt like a lot of times OpTic had the opportunities to make it happen. I mean, Wrinkle was 0-9 until round 10, so it's a very difficult one to kind of pull up the highlights for both teams. But OpTic do get it done, and probably the best opportunities for Miami Heretics to get a round away from them. It's an interesting series for them so far, Chance. I think there are positives to take away, but certainly a lot of VOD review as well.
Yeah, I mean, Heretics still need to figure out their philosophical distances or differences, in the play style. Meanwhile, OpTic, when they need to be suffocating, they absolutely are. It was a nice swarm of round 11.
It certainly is. Well, let's find out what the Overload has for us. We're going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you right after this.
So...
Black Ops 7 returns to the Esports World Cup this summer. Scan the QR code to get your tickets now.
Scuff, official controller of the CDL. Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Brought to you by America's Navy and the special operators who work in the shadows.
Listen. Listen. Okay, it is working. I just had to make sure.
Big GG.
The guild took the hard point.
Oh, that was roll for bears. Aw.
Got the hard point. Hard point contested.
Oh my.
Oh my God!
Goodness. Oh no.
Hello, are we good? Hello?
Replay that. It's in red. It's in red. It's red everywhere. It's red everywhere. Oh my god.
Running. We're just running at him.
Oh. Oh. Grab the fucking thing. Let's go and get a score. I'll get the kills. Just run it through that hole. Grab the fucking thing. Make it sure you score. I'll get the kills. Make sure you score. Oh. Oh.
Who's the band that sings "Wake Me Up, Wake Me Up"? I can't wake up.
And Skies will just wait for about 8 seconds on the clock. Go burst, check it with the pistol. You'll watch Okus in a freaking turbine.
You said, bro, all you can do is try to stick this defuse, but hit him with some kind of movement. Let's bait that he tries to go for the sniper shot, but just too fast. Lisa Sky still finding a headshot.
They just put Okus on tumble dry.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to OpTic Texas versus Miami Heretics in the Call of Duty League. So far, all good for OpTic. Close games, but close does not matter here. The score still good for them, Chance.
Yeah, showing off the fundamentals, showing off the clutch ability as well, but turning our attention over towards Overload. Players to watch are the players looking for a little bit of redemption. Mercules, to everyone's surprise, I think, struggling this month. Not the finest major he has had, so looking to bounce back into game mode. And of course, Tricks, very similar sort of camp stats, very similar down the line for these two players.
Yeah, not the great in KD, but certainly scores some goals anyway on Overload, and that is what counts. Right now, though, we're talking about pretty much the number one team in most people's eyes against the Heretics that have really struggled recently to get anything going in the way that the fans would want to. But there is always potential, Chance. I know you're going to hate me for saying it. This game does not end until it ends. OpTic are the heavy favorites. Heretics, it's not a great result for them in recent memory either. But maybe, just maybe.
I would never hate you for saying that, Bryce. I think you're doing a great job, man.
Thank you very much, Chant. That's wonderful to hear. But let's see if maybe Miami Heretics can make me sound like a genius, or whether or not this will be an OpTic 3-0.
Well, I know Heretics looking to bounce back after their exposure overload yesterday. Probably just need to set a bit more pace. Tranks does so, and he gets a double kill over towards their spawn. Rancor, though, still posted, looking for a little bit more information. Chauncey, last man up on his team, doesn't waste any time. First opportunity to grab the advice, well, he's all over it. Heretics, though, quick response.
Everybody just fighting. A little bit of a... It's probably the slowest we've seen this overload as it goes through. Everybody trying to get the kills first, and we'll be opting that come away with it a little bit better. So we're going to try and get a couple of kills to stay into it, but not going to be good enough. Shotzi already out here all the way through. Can he find anything? There's going to be two players lined up, and technically Rancor will give him an opportunity.
Wow. That was a good nade.
Easy peasy.
Mergus, first one.
The timing, Shotzi forces the team kill. Absolutely splendid. Delightful work there for OpTic.
That was a good game.
Looking for the reload as well here. Hugh will find another one. Dashy. Just going to keep it.
Got it.
With that. Oh, looks like the kill does find it at the same time, and that's going to be a second as well. Shotzi's able to just walk through. Super can do nothing to stop him. And that's 2-0 in a minute 20.
Yeah, look at where Hook already is. I mean, they're swinging the map. OpTic now pressuring. They're going for the double chain sequence. You clear one guy out of your spawn, you take care of Hook, you think you're safe. Nope, Mercules, next man in line. You take care of him. Well, now it's Shotzi's turn with the Creddy corner. So OpTic, all the pressure in the world, still device control, and really just in control of the situation. Shotzi doing it from the top rope.
Miami Heretics are just
all the time.
firmly in their own back line, trying to work out where this one is going. Dashy in control here, but has lost the blockers. Puke will go killing. There's a second, and Puke, well, good enough. And now the switch comes through. OpTic are playing this one like a symphony. Doing almost nothing wrong, but Mercury's a little bit squeezing too tight there on the controller. Hits a melee and maybe an opportunity now for Miami Heretics.
Opportunity for redemption. Frontline man's going to be Trakes, already cut down. Need to trade on Hook in the kill feed. Undelivered. Now the device trying to wrap over through the middle of the map, and they're cutting all the way across. But in the meantime, they're getting pinched and just running into a firing squad. So the actual action is, it's getting weird. Super off the map. Now we got to swing it back the other direction.
2 minutes 15. Potential here. They have a blocker as well. Medals managed to find one. He's trying to get around this one with a pistol. It's wonderful by Medals. Regen. Another pistol. Sliding almost got to the point, but not quite here. But he has delayed enough for some reinforcements to hit. Renkor over the top. Player on the head. He's not going to be able to get it. That's Mercules. One last chance. And down they go. Miami Heretics get it within sniffing distance at that point, but it's not good enough.
It was a near Metals miracle, but no luck there. And now as the device actually resets back towards low, well, the team that's in position, playing aggressive, it is OpTic in control once again. Heretics very consistently on the back foot. OpTic having an absolute field day. With all the space they're allowed to get, this is a playground for Shotzi. Give him the quad feed and give him the goal too.
Almost got one more there with a pistol, but every single kill. And for OpTic Texas, they're just going to keep on pushing this one forward. Looking for some more kills in towards the middle of the map here. Still aggressive. Hugh and Shotzi just running around, having a great time.
And I'm watching Rancor spawn up in L trigger as well. I mean, hard clearing out your spawn. So it has just been free reign for OpTic to get, like, wherever they want. Middle of the map, they got it. Device control, they got it. Credit corners on different sections of the map. I mean, they're just afforded to play any style of game they want. Heretics now in a sequence, getting all of the kills, but I'm losing belief in their ability to actually make moves properly with this device.
Well, this will be a bit of a headbutt push. They haven't really got anything here. It might be better for a switch, but Trakes finds one. We shall see who sits in the way that they would have to get through. Potential switch coming in at the same time. Shotzi needs to find this kill, but with that kill going down, Miami Heretics will go for it again. I don't know how you managed to make that one happen. Still gets it. Trakes eventually gets him as well, though. And, well, that's a bunch more kills. A Super will fly over the top, and 2 is not good enough. I think Texas are going to have this free play chance.
Yeah, a huge pinch for those 2 kills. Problem is, play already done. Now OpTic just want to hold this and make sure you don't lose it in the final seconds. And they keep the device in hand and the guy stays alive. Now you get the information. 3 down on the feed. You know Super is over towards window room and everybody's dead off spawn. This is a cap. That is 3 seconds left in the half. Shotzi calls in the Hellstorm and drives the dagger through their hearts. That is a painful way to lose that round.
It's not fair, Shotzi. It's not fair. Everywhere they went, just devastation. And obviously they had to make the kills that kept that carrier alive. And Shotzi said, hey, I'm going to Hellstorm this with literally a second before free play came through. It worked out, and OpTic Texas have put this in for 4-0. And I said maybe there's hope, but truthfully, Shotzi said, shut up, Bryce, watch this.
Yeah, an important consideration, just the idea that, like, on the Scar, Heretics absolutely brought a good fight to the table. Like, they had to fight the uphill battle. They never really had any of their rotations won, but they still kept it close. This, to me, feels like an exposure overload where they're almost laying down and dying. Well, good opening break there for Trakes, soaring through the middle of the map to actually begin to apply that pressure, but traded out instantly. And, well, for the Heretics, now to 2v3, there's just nowhere for them to go.
What a surprise. Shotzi's already on the other side of the map. 3 going to go down as well. Shotzi straight into the back spawn here. This would be a bit of a headbutt, but have they found Shotzi? No, he's all the way around the back. Shotzi not going to get that first kill either, though, but Dashi opens up the key. Are they going to switch this? There are so many players here for Miami Heretics, but they're still making kills.
Trakes, the frontline man, wants the pressure. He full sends into absolute death. Now everybody else a little bit more posted, but now you're just getting overwhelmed. It's actually a team kills that go through. Rancor's also in the top window. That device, though, is over there scoring points, which is how you win.
I don't know, she's got closer.
Mostly they'll just slow the enemy team down. This is an exhibition of excellence here from OpTic. They are just finding all of the gunfights over and over again. It is magical, it is mystical, it might even be spiritual for them. Let's find out how they're feeling in the comms. OpTic, Texas, listen in.
Another guy.
Okay, goes back right. Goes right.
Goes right. One's going left right now. Left icon. Actually, no, back server. Back server.
Someone camp right, because I'm working.
Yeah, I'm just holding close here.
One guy's up our long.
I'm lucky giving ball, but I'm just holding close.
I stood him on the ball. There's two. One pinch.
No, really weak. Meadows, weak on ball. Weak on ball.
Absolute on ball. Pushed our side. He was 1 HP.
Meadows on the ball as well.
Other guy's behind you already.
He's in our goal. On our goal.
You guys mid lane on me?
Super.
Watch out.
1 HP, they're Warren.
Watch out under our buck.
Alright, Traces are Warren.
They're above.
I think we can stop this, bro. Is there attacks?
Another one on me. Under ring.
Go back ring. There's left there. Hold it. Yo, low ring. Or low goal.
Oh,
he's going back to you guys.
Yeah, he's full health.
Okay, they know we're spawning con, so we gotta try to get these guys.
On our goal still. There's someone within.
It's like they're working on it again.
Could be under, but.
What about under ring?
Under ring, dead.
This guy probably on the right.
I'm just taking space. I'm taking space.
Yep. 6-1.
We can just hold again. They're probably gonna spawn like left here.
Yeah, resets the mid if it resets.
Link on.
I'm just holding that P5.
I let it reset then. I bumped over then.
What's on the right? You can let it reset if you want. Nothing on the right.
Watch out, there one. Literally a bullet.
One's our low ring. He's gonna kill me. P5. He was out. He's still there. I went there mid alley. I pushed up there mid alley.
Alright. Go right, Ranko. Shut on.
Okay, I'm up there mid alley.
Well, calm and collected, realistically, from OpTic, as they feel very comfortable. They did lose one chance, but one is not 6.
No, not at all. Keeping track of all players as well. I think Heretics now in a situation they're throwing everything they can at the wall just to see what sticks, trying to make moves, trying to get up towards the middle of the map. But, I mean, if you're down 5 and there's only a minute and a half, you don't have time to play corners. It's not possible, but you do have to indeed just pick up the device as quickly as you possibly can and run it straight home. You'd have to bowl them over. I don't think OpTic are going to play with that style at all. This is just a minute and a half left of pain and suffering for Heretics, who are going to get 3-0.
Yeah, this is just TDM. And Shotzi's going to go wild. Orsa's going to just continue to push the tempo all the way through. Dash is now into the spawn at the same time. Mercury's finding one. And, well, it's not a bad position for Heretics, but unless they've got some sort of new technology that allows them to move at warp speed to get this in 6 times, I'm not sure it's going to happen. Shotzi says, hey, have you seen this jump before? It's wonderful. There's a 2-piece. Let's keep on moving and grooving, baby.
Time to practice the routes, time to practice the long-range NPC shots. Now what direction you want to go? Well, towards the kills. Came through mid-cut, you got bad timing. Don't worry, Shotzi's awareness absolutely on point. No fear in his heart. 4 spree to end it on, and well, Metal's coming out of spawn already taking gunfights. I think OpTic have just had way more pressure on this map, not even close, and as Mercury steals it away, Rancor, wrong side of the map, OpTic always stealing it away.
Well, I think what you can see in this one is, for Heretics at least, this will go down as a game they have participated in. From the Texas, excellence all the way through on the overload. That is what makes them such a dangerous team, as SMGs just cry havoc whenever they need to. They're winning every gunfight. It's all highlights for OpTic Texas. For Heretics, I wouldn't even watch that VOD review.
No, it is.
It would be a little bit demoralizing there, Bryce. They knew that game was over. I mean, maybe during the first half as well. Honest to God, the Hellstorm called by Shotzi the first half to go for that last-second capture to go up 4-0. Just a little bit evil. Not too much fun, not too much jubilation and joy on the flip side as well. OpTic came out today, took care of business, won the maps they selected. Unfortunately, maybe for them, no repetitions on Hacienda, but that is a small L, overall a big victory.
All well that ends well. And you did say Heretics, they can fight anybody close in the first 2 maps. At least you have that for them. but certainly a little bit more to do. OpTic Texas still looking good, still looking like the team everybody needs to take on to deny them that championship at Major 4. Will they finally get it, Chance?
Possibly. You know, Mercules, you saw his stats for the overload, but in this game, absolutely on point. Had a hat trick as well, maybe 5 kills as carrier, positive KD, so the exposure certainly looking good. Maybe long-term interesting that OpTic banned the gridlock. Maybe something you think they maybe want the repetitions on, so always got to keep the new maps in the back of your mind, but ultimately, doesn't matter. You got the 3-0 dub. You got the CDL points. Still the #1 team in the game.
They certainly are. Well, let's throw it back to our desk to make what they can of that game.
Slammed, absolutely. 3-0 in that final game of exposure. Not even close. Shotzi and Hook takeover performance in that final overload, but I feel like you kind of won this series when you sealed the deal on the first hard point. You broke Miami where they had their best chance. Let's walk through it because the favorites win it with the expected win tonight, Ann.
Yeah, and you know, also in this map layout, like squaring with them on their best search and destroy in raid and winning in the round 11, where
this is
honestly,
pretty good.
I don't even think Miami deserved to make it to the round 11, but yeah, this play is ridiculous. Gets the 4-piece and the score, grabs the goal. Like, Shotzi's just so confident in overload when he gets in your base. And then the goal to call in a streak in the OT situation where if the player dies with the ball, the round is over. Like, you're just so confident. Like, I don't even need this streak if it gets dicey because I know that it won't, and we're going to put up another point.
They go on to score more after this one. Allie, total control on exposure. Do you square up against OpTic on this map, or are they scary on all overloads?
They're scary on den and exposure overload specifically, and that's why I touched on it going into the series. It's like, I know Miami has a little bit of comfortability here, but their overload has just looked so bad. But I will say, like, going back to map 1 and 2, I mean, I'm glad that it was at least close for side of Miami Heretics. Raid was their best S&D. They were at least able to push it to around 11, even if it was messy. That map #1, they were at least able to keep it within 10 points. So I think at the end of this, I can at least take away the Miami Heretics still has the passion and the foot on the gas to keep it close between top teams in maps like that.
And of course, we've got to visit your scuff play of the game after this one, a 6-1 final score. Incredible work from the guys on the front line. Mercules had a microscope on him today. He performed. Everyone finding their place on the map and finding success. Frustrations in the Miami camp starting to set in.
Yeah, I mean, Miami, they got to start winning some of these series, man. I mean, this is a tough spot, right? You got to get 3 wins, likely to make it into winner's bracket. You're 0-2. Miami, got to get some dubs.
Allie, it's time for our scuff play of the game, though. Let's take a look at some of the big highlights from this one. What was the biggest play? Well, the world champ.
I mean, my God, what are you supposed to do when he's doing stuff like this? I mean, he was a one-man team in this situation, taking out all 3 of these guys, and then he pulls out the Hellstorm. I mean, this was just electric to watch it.
Yeah, Shots is a monster. And like right prior to this, Hook had found 2 kills as well inside of their base. Yeah, when this guy gets going, he's literally a freight train, and you're just like, okay, can somebody finally kill him? And again, I already touched on it. Just the confidence to even call this streak in ridiculous. If OpTic are winning their overloads this dominant once again, yes, they're going to be in another grand final.
He literally called that, I think it was like 0.2 seconds before we were about to go into OT and end that first half. That was insane.
Hoop goes 30-19, but Shotzi with 1 less kills drops even more damage thanks to that Hellstorm. Ridiculous work by the front line of OpTic, and they complete this series quite quickly. We still have one more match to go on the day. Allie, final thoughts on this one before we get into the interview. What do you see from OpTic?
I mean, just composure. The best team being the best team. I mean, maybe you can go back to that S&D because it was so close. I mean, thank God they needed something to study. They were just giving everybody belt.
Joining us now live in the Monster Winter Spotlight, it's the young stud. Mercules in his second year continues to impress. How was today's matchup against Miami? Because looking at the numbers coming in, you guys have crushed this matchup. What do you guys have over the Heretics camp?
I think just, our pacing is a big issue for them. Just the way they like to play, smart, kind of slower. So I think our pacing just matches up very well to them.
Mercules, looks like you guys put a lot of work into your overload once again during this break. Recently the overload has fallen off a bit. You guys are like 8 and 7 in it in the last couple of months. So what do you think it's going to take for you guys to get back to early overload form? Because it looks like you had it here in this one.
Yeah, we've just been focusing on playing more as a team in that game mode, and it paid off there.
Mace, give me something to watch for OpTic Texas during the split. Like, what do you guys have like your main focus on heading into Major 4, being in the spot that you are, kind of just not keeping it close with anybody?
Our focus is honestly getting reps on the new maps, Hasi and Sake SND. We don't have a lot of Sake reps yet, so we're gonna do that this week. So, yeah.
Hercules, can I ask you to give me the top 4 teams in the game? Because I feel like at 4 it gets a little dicey. So if you were to, obviously you guys, give me the next 3.
I'd say probably Thieves, FaZe, Toronto.
Okay.
Oh, still Toronto in that
Still in the mix. We like it. Final question for you, Mercules. What makes you smile?
Winning.
There we go. Aura. There's another one. Congrats on another win. We'll let you celebrate with the team.
Thank you.
So simple.
It's the best answer you could have had to that.
That was good.
Winning.
Just winning. Yep. Who's going to smile at the end of this one? Well, they've had few this season, but one of them's going to be ear to ear. It's Cloud9 taking on Boston Breach with TJ, my favorite Haley.
Champs tickets are on sale now. Come see the best teams lock in for this season's grand finale in fabulous Las Vegas. All 4-day passes come with early venue access. Head to FazeVegas.com or scan the QR code to get your tickets now.
Look like the pros to play like the pros. The CDL team skins are available now. Scan the QR code or check out the in-game store now. Scuff, official controller of the CDL.
Let's find out who's built for the big save. Heretics ready to dive in.
Fights 2.
4 and Snoopy. Wants them all. But Hydra with the switch impossible. He's making top room. So damn happy. It strikes down a bruiser. Dominance on the grandest stage.
That's true. Well, why are you, bro? Where are you going? Why are you going? Dude, you're gonna get in trouble, bro. Why are you gonna get fined? All right. What the f is the?
Hello, and actually, about looking in the thing.
You're an idiot, bro.
He's not in here. Join the game.
That's the problem. You gave them all the time in the world, and now Ultra have set themselves up perfectly for the barbershop hardpoint. The apartments, the alleyways, all the nooks and crannies are now full of Canadians.
And you have a BZ at 9 and 22, and this is only a 20-point game. You're looking at big plays in the final moments, but Envoy takes down 2.
Envoy the front line.
Nice, I have A. Guarantee that kill.
Oh my god!
Let's go.
They got one tick on B.
You suck, dude. Let's get it, bro. We gotta win this out.
Oh my gosh, Subclay?
Here come the thieves. They cannot allow this to slip now. And there is snaking going on. Octane and Envoy have broken through. Can find one. Finds the second 1v1. And it's Clayster looking for the last. And they 10 seconds. 10 points. The comeback of the CDL year. Can they do it? The thieves are moving. But they are moving into the kill feed. And Legion have just made the greatest comeback in hardpoint you will ever see.
Nameless. I dare you. Go ahead. You won't make it out.
I'm gonna go with the Riyadh Falcons.
Oh, you're not making it out. He's not making it out the stadium.
Yeah, I've never liked him. I never really have liked him. Man to man, like that aside, I've never liked him as a guy. I'm just kidding. I have no idea who he is. Got a good beard.
Welcome back. The party continues as we have Boston taking on Cloud9. Rosalie, you excited for this one?
Oh, yeah, an absolute banger game 5. I mean, it's going to come down to the wire.
Why is this important? Well, you got 8 players playing for your spots at the top level in Call of Duty. You want to prove your mettle and you want to show your worth. You got an opportunity if you're Cloud9, and Levy, as just a 18-year-old, what, he was 18, 17 days?
Yeah,
in his last appearance, he's what, 18 and 18 days now? Incredible experience for this young man. Talk to me, though, about the opportunity. What do you want to see from him tonight?
Yeah, I just want to see some more electric plays. You know, they won that overload in the last series. He popped off.
Got score streaks.
Exactly. And, you know, his POV, the guy has turned. So need to see a little bit more of that. And this is a Cloud9 team that was improving, you know, throughout the last stage, even with Okas on the team, who wasn't playing well. So I think what got away from them was they got smoked in that S&D. He got first blooded by Skies, I think, 3 times. So I'd like to see him maybe play his life early round to give them a chance late, because we know when the adjustments come in, this team could actually be a threat in that game mode. You combo that with, you know, that overload win, and maybe you clutch up in a game 5.
Yeah, so, maybe a little 2-3-5 action from the side of Cloud9. I don't hate the angle, and that's what challenger teams, especially way back in the day when we had those more open brackets, tended to do, because that's where they can catch these teams off guard. So that's a really big shout. I think my biggest focus in this one, and Courage himself has a 0.7 specifically in this matchup versus Boston Breach, so need a little bit more damage laid down from him.
And Courage was looking great.
And he was looking good. He just struggled versus Boston.
Multi-kills up. Nasty was on the former Boston squad. You now have a number of roles changing on that team. The good news for Boston, Hacienda is in the mix, and you just got to win with Purge taking over in a game 5. So let's talk about this Breach team that is looking to make it back-to-back W's. Wheeler, are you excited about Purge's crew tonight?
I'm excited about them tonight, and the reason is because last split, they had the hardest split imaginable. Got cooked, right? We have 5 matches to split. They win this one, they're 2-0. All they need is one random lucky upset to be in the winner's bracket.
Reverse sweep.
This is one of the only matches that Boston will be a favorite going in, so they have to make work of these guys. 2-0 record versus New York this season. TJ had a 1.01 in the debut yesterday, played really well for them. And even in the map 1 loss, I believe he had 40 kills. So, yeah, I think this Boston team, big opportunity today to go 2-0, and I believe they'd be at the top of our standings, which would be absurd to just look at after a weekend.
But it's almost like I feel it in my shoulders where, like, I'm terrified because we have seen Cloud9 just do insane things to top teams randomly out of nowhere, just catching them off guard before.
Oh, yeah, don't get it twisted. This is
so this is a moment for Boston where they cannot be comfortable at all. I'm on the edge of my seat in this one.
I want to kind of look at this from a GM's point of view and scouting out talent. I think you called out Spart in a great way in the 1v1 opportunities, what he was doing in Search and Destroy. You said he's got it. I can see that in the player. What do you want to see from the guys on Cloud9 in particular when we first go into this hard point? How do you tell if the new guy really has what it takes to reach the next level in Call of Duty?
Well, I mean, let's look at it, right? So you got Purge, Spart, TJ, Afro, like these guys who've been in and out of the league, right? Recycled players. If you're scouting the guys on C9, this is one of the matches where you should be able to show your individual prowess, right? Like, these are guys you have to be clearing away better than in order to earn a spot in the CDL. So, yeah, I think this is a huge match for them and how they're going to be viewed going forward.
Where are there opportunities tonight? Well, it's at least your first 3 maps. We play first to 3 wins, and we are starting things off with Den. We got a Sake for Search and Destroy, and Den again for Overload. Allie, do we get to a game 4 Scar hardpoint?
I think maybe we do. Honestly, I haven't had too much strength in Boston's S&D, despite them able to get that game 5 win. But the thing for Boston is they're 2-11 on Den hardpoint, so this is not a great map 1 for them. But Cloud9 doesn't even have double-digit wins in respawns yet, so they don't have a map set.
I like the Scar hardpoint. I think Encourage is looking really good on that map. And Den Overload was where you took the map from G2. So Cloud9 today is going to be my scuff pick'em.
Oh my God.
Can we get this on camera and make it official? I bombed out with the Heretics pick. It didn't look good. We're going to bounce back
give you
today.
3 if they win this.
You'll give me 3 for a Cloud9 win. Encourage. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I got Boston.
I got Boston. You don't even got it.
Game 7.
Top 10 player TJ Halley has a 1.3 versus C9.
Yeah, Cloud9. Let's make a story, shall we? We got Shift and Steady to break down all of the great moves and mistakes.
See, Chris knows what we're all about over here. I think the thing about this particular matchup is, you know, we kind of have this alleviation of like putting pressure on the end of the regular season. Now it's just about extending careers and potentially extending chances going into the summer with EWC. So not to sit there and say like this match doesn't matter. It matters immensely. I think especially for both these two teams trying to build a new identity with their new squads that you would have to hope is what they're looking to find success with as they move forward towards things like Major 4, potentially being some upset potential, or I think in particular EWC.
Yeah, both teams got a lot to play for. Careers being the number one thing. Obviously, if you are C9, such a young roster, this has sort of been like a testing season for Cloud9. And obviously, it hasn't really worked out to the level that they want to, but they do make a roster change and allow the players to be more comfortable alongside a guy like Webby, who they grew up playing with. So you can just tell, even after their loss a couple days ago, Encourage is still tweeting, I'm very confident in my lineup. We are going to be able to show it sooner rather than later. And this is one of those matches that you can show it. So Boston Breach versus C9, let's get it on now.
Let's get it on, brother. Let's do it. Let's do it. Webby, definitely one of the players that has pulled the attention his direction for a multitude of reasons, but I would say his debut definitely showed why the potential, was built up around what his individual POV has looked like, considering that his time in Challengers was about as short as anyone else's. Shorter than anyone else's, not short as anyone else's. But off the wrap, it's got, Boston looking pretty solid, looking pretty complete, already into P1, looking to finesse some more time before they move over to 2.
Yeah, they're just slaying their way through the middle of the map, dominating this P1 presence and just putting C9 in an uncomfortable position already into the game. Because now you're not really willing to give up all this time for free, but you also don't want to lose these spawns, so you need to clutch up on these fights. Nezra's going to be the aggressor. Does find himself on 3 in a row before getting shut down, but just creates that space for Cloud9 to win the road up.
And you get a little bit of info there for Webby. Okay, just a little early rotation from Afro, sniffed out, shut down, and good spacing generated here by Cloud9. Okay, love the setup around P2. You're going to get a split approach for Boston. 2 through mid, 2 over to P4. Webby good for the first, great damage into a second. That will stall out the play and actually pull Encourage a little bit further forward, but careful here. Don't want to lose the side of the backside of the spawns as Boston are starting to approach from multiple angles. After able to find the opener. Now the contest trying to come in from the front, but Hyde is tucked into a nice corner. Good damage through. Webby right back into the mix, and there will be enough opportunity here to hold at least block spawns for Cloud9, looking for this scrap time.
Yeah, now C9 got to break over through rooftops, and Sparks already has the indication of where the pressure's coming in, and as TJ is able to find 3. So now with 20 seconds left, you're going to start thinking about the rotation if you are Cloud9, but with TJ all of this space to the front side, he's going to be setting up this late pinch because your teammates are already showing presence at Cobble.
Well, Afro shut down on the initial approach. You also have Nezra now free to play a little bit deeper towards pillars. Good win over the top of the hard point. Has TJ crossed up. Nice shots though from TJ. Come back to the fight. On 4 in a row, shut down from anything more. As I believe her kill feed was a little mixy for a moment. I was going to say, the names that were popping up are not the names that I'm seeing drop. I'm not sure what's happening, but regardless of it, it's Cloud9 currently still playing over through 10.
Yeah, I thought I was losing my mind. Like, it was Sparks pop 3 over at P2. No, it was actually TJ. So the numbers are correct, but sometimes the kill feed isn't going to match it. Like, that kill go down and it doesn't even pop up in the kill feed. But regardless, it's still Cloud9 holding on to Dojo and still holding on to the time. 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, nice little moment here for Cloud9 New York. Shut down onto TJ, and how about it? Nezra playing the cross. Perfect. And Boston just not able to get all 4 players to coerce to this hit together. Just very individualistic. Cloud9 able to punish. Hyde over the top, able to get a little bit of extra peppering damage. And meanwhile, there's a win over through mid-map from Encourage. So once more, Cloud9 doing the appropriate things of winning rotation over to New.
Yeah, and I think if you're a Boston Preach, you got to make sure we're understanding who we're going up against while also giving them their respect. Because Cloud9, they've been getting whooped for the last couple of months. But in their last couple of series, they have been showing that they can somewhat compete now. Just comes down to the final moment of certain games that really come back to bite them. But it's basically a tie game. They're the team early in towards the P4 time. But the pressure, the spawn's good enough for Boston to fly right back on in.
At least for now, TJ able to win out one more over to the front side of the hard point. No one watching towards the outer rooftops, though. As TJ now having to pick up a couple, and the pistol works out. TJ on 4 in a row. Cloud9 still spawning all around this hard point, but TJ's giving him a bit of a workout. Afro maybe set up for an opportunity to find the 1v2, but coming to help is Nezra. He will find the elimination, get Cloud9 established in the hard point with 20 seconds to fight. Purge, Spark, finding one more chance here for Boston to contest just before Cloud9 can reclaim the lead. 75 points, 76. Purge, couple of kills coming through, but Cloud9 will win the final moments and exit back to P1 with a small lead.
Yeah, and I don't know if you feel the same way I do, Al. It felt like Boston were in a lot of control throughout that first set, but they found themselves down by 10. So the fundamentals not really in the back of their minds right now, and that's allowed Cloud9 to still be in this game, plus a little bit extra, because now, even though the spawns are a little bit scattered, Nezra is going to be able to read the pressure in towards Broken, not able to win the gunfight, and now Boston with a clean 4-dead stabilizer on mid-back.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Boston definitely have moved around the map with a little bit more conviction. I think especially just kind of looking at the routes that TJ's been able to put together, but there have been some good individual moments from Cloud9 that continue to make the spawns messy. So when you think Boston's about to dominate a rotation, it ends up not really being that way. Like kind of going back over to that P3 where it's like, okay, we've got a couple of pitch spawn potentials, but instead we're playing 2v4s twice over. So a couple of mixy moments have allowed this to stay really, really tight. Boston going to get past the 100-point threshold first, and now as they look to rotation to 2, it's Cloud9's turn to step up to see if they can do the same.
Yeah, but they already give up that space with the back line, so the back spawns are going to be blocked. Webby going to be all the way across the map. And now to start off this time, you have to be prepared for the pressure coming from couches and through the bottom side of garage. And so far, Hyde was the only one prepared for it, the only one to find the kill. Now your teammates are going to be outnumbered, but it's the young gun. Webby finds a double.
Yeah, 16 and 13, still soaking up more of this hard point time. Going to have the pistol off to finish off TJ. And that will lead to Cloud9 now looking to reclaim the lead here. 38 seconds to fight on P2. Boston still spawning close to get the first blood on this approach. Looking for the pinch through couches. Held off for a moment. Cloud9 backing away, trying to get the reset. Afro, team kill, but takes care of the intended target of Hyde. Last challenge coming through. Webby can only do so much, and it's Afro absolutely melting. 20 seconds of scrap, and Boston are in.
Yeah, Afro has a lot of fun on P2 dead, especially when he has those back spawners. He's able to fly on in with an NPC. Always manages to put together some multi-kills when the team needs it. So now Boston have a little bit of a cushion now to be a little bit late off this rotation over towards New. But Afro's on 4. Can he find more?
A little bit of revenge against his former organization. It's coming through nicely here to this point. 5 in a row. Give him number 6. Clean shots. One more over towards 10. Great shoulders. The assist will get him the Hellstorm. And Boston currently in a position to what you would, again, think would be a win to rotate to P3. But the last couple of members for Cloud9, again, hold their lives nicely. Nezra stays on 4 in a row. And it's Cloud9 who end up with the time here in the middle portion of the third hill.
Yeah, and Afro now is going to invest that Hellstorm, but the first kill already goes in favor of C9, making one extra. Hyde understanding where the pressure is going to be coming from, and just single-handedly secures the spawn for his team, and that Hellstorm gets nothing out of it. So C9, your win condition is right now, because if you chain this P3 to P4, you can blow the game wide open.
Looking good for it at the moment. Next hit for Boston. Desperate in effect towards the front side of P3. They get the 4v2 that they want. But Cloud9 will get, well, just one of the 2 players who fell to spawn up into position for P4. So once more, you look towards the young gun of Webby, and you get exactly what you want. A huge double from Webby, still hanging onto the patio, and now the rest of Cloud9 can just focus on the mid-cross and the front doors.
And that's just so far pushed up the rooftops that he's just giving the comment to his teammates, watch the back, watch bottom middle. There's nothing through the front. And now that they are pressuring, Nezra in the position to just slow them down. Every kill that he finds, his teammates locking down the back. That's another clean 4 dead. Enough of me. Let's go to a listening with the Young Bucks and C9.
Keep holding.
You want CJ done?
I'm playing close. Afro, stop. Down mid. Go backwards.
In binds right now. Low binds, smart. Nice. Good shit, bro.
I have the old route.
I've been right. Two there. CJ done. Stay on. Get your bro. On hill. Half up. He's up.
I'm cruising.
Top. Yo, top blue.
I'm cruising.
Go be cut. Go be cut.
Yeah.
Go be cut. Yep.
Yo, bottom vines. 200 bottom vines.
Yo, 10
in couches and 200 blue.
10 dead.
Okay, yo, 200 vines. 200 vines. One,
that's a hill. He's right there.
Top is first week.
One hill, one shot.
Low you.
No, live. Sit down, Ned. Nice.
I have all of it.
Get out, Ned.
I have all of it.
I'm here. I'm one shot. Top blue is me, boy.
I saw P2. One shot.
Tell me. Yo, 1v2, 1v2.
Left side time, left side time, one shot first.
P2 dead.
Last get P1. Let's get P1.
Let's get 10. Guys, sold. He's dead. He's dead. Alright, Spartled.
I'm like, on me. I'm
trying to repush the back, alright?
I'm in garage.
I'm trying to repush the back, guys.
I got I killed one.
Back to 10.
Yep, he's in her.
Back garage, guys. Already, I'm going. Back garage. Garage now. They spawned there. They spawned hard.
Tell you what, Jay, you want to talk about passion meeting perfection. So far, Cloud9 really showing up in these last couple of hard points.
Oh, yeah, these guys got me ready to run through the wall like I'm the juggernaut. C9 with the young guns, young voices, on sync in the gameplay. They breached it to an important mark. They were able to stabilize on that first push out of a great play out of Webby. Just drawing the attention from Boston, even with the back spawns. But now breach respawn on the hill that they have been doing it all of this game. Final 10 seconds is going to go their way. Cloud9 are going to be late off the rotation, but this is going to be a photo finish.
I'll tell you, Jay, it's about that time. This roster has dropped so many games at a moment that looks just like this.
Yep.
Can they find a way to get through the finish line as Boston will get a little bit of early rotation pressure onto 3. Big clear out by Purge on 4 in a row. They know they've got isolation onto Webby as well, so the trade comes through. Now it's just on the Purge from the front, has a Hellstorm earned, and he's able to find the last dude through Dojo. Not again. Things starting to look a little bit dire for Cloud9 as Boston have a full setup around P3, but keep your eye on Nezra, making the play around the back. If you're Cloud9, just bully out one player, wait for Nezra to get into the play, and then go all together. But Purge is still in position to save it through Dojo. 9 in a row for Purge. Back to the front, looking for double digits, and Boston are going to have the lead.
Oh, the playmaker is starting to pop takeover. Purge goes on 9 in a row. Hellstorm in the back pocket. Spawns have already been flipped, and Boston are lining up the kill feed in the right way. Only 5 seconds remaining at the P3, but Purge is already set up nice and comfy over towards rooftops. You only need 12.
Cloud9 have the numbers to bully their way through pillars. Afro trying to hold, has 2 members to deal with. Off the reload, just trying to dance, but is not going to find the win. TJ able to get the hard point neutral, though. That is big. Stuns, nades now starting to come through as Boston are trying to desperately make their way over. They do have a Hellstorm to clear out the hard point. It'll be 230 to 238. Small lead for Boston. But look at this. Cloud9 are going to jump in and try to contest this. It's Webby around the backside. Not able to find the kills, though. And all of a sudden, Cloud9 are down to individual numbers with Boston with win condition. And Courage is trying to wait for help, but there's just nobody nearby. Nezra and Courage both shut down. Not again. Not like this. We can't drop another one, and we will see an opportunity for Cloud9 to extend.
I don't know if they get the tick. So if you are Boston, are you just going to cut your losses and set up at new? And now C9 100% don't win at that old time, so you might as well pressure with the numbers.
You got to stay alive, though, if you're Hyde, and he's not able to. Not again. Not again. It just feels like every time we get to that 210 mark within a 30-point game, Cloud9 just kind of lose themselves and get into all these multiple 1v3s and 2v4s. They can't rotate or set up together, and they drop another absolute devastating hard point.
Yeah, that's tough if you're C9, man. That's a bad sequence from that P3 to the P4. Purge earning himself that Hellstorm, but really didn't have that much of an effect. It was just what Purge was doing with his gun. The fact that he was the only one at Dojo, multiple different lives, goes on a 3 spree, goes on a 2 spree, ends up on 9 in a row, and just controls the map for his team. C9 did everything that they could, man. They did everything. You won the rotation gunfights to even give yourself a chance here. But it's just not applying any pressure, playing real tight on your setup, and Boston continuously just pushing you back. Allowed them to clutch up. And for C9 to take another devastating loss on Den HP. Yesterday was 250 to 240. How about 250 to 241 today?
Jay, that's, oh man. These guys have played 14 hard points. Excuse that. 16 hard points. 10 of them have been within the 180 to 250 mark. Losses. Oh, it's just, they can't get one through the hoop, brother. It's as simple as that. They just cannot find the bottom of the net. That's so tough. Yeah, Afro's like, yo, no way. Oh, man.
hopefully, you know, since it's such a young roster in Cloud9, you can shake that one off. There's 2 times now with the new lineup you felt that you did everything that you possibly can to win a Den hard point to start off the series. Just not having the experience that it can help you in those moments. You continue to break down when you don't want to. Doesn't matter if Nezra's putting up those kind of numbers. It doesn't matter if the new up-and-comer in Webby is also matching him. It's just the little things, the big plays at the end of the game. Play, make a purge, gets it done.
Yeah, man, and it's just, these are growing moments that we were to, like, you know, okay, give a little bit of forgiveness to Cloud9 early. Yeah. I mean, they come out, their first series was versus OpTic as a roster, and they still played them close in both the hard points. And we're sitting here like, maybe the young guns are the truth, but it's just you get to those final moments, and maybe you can kind of pull off this a little bit for us here, Jay, because for me, it's like you hear their comms, and you get to that moment of like, yeah, you want to run through a wall because it's just losing passion. But when you're getting into the tight games where you can't afford to make mistakes and everyone's just, you know, I would say like hungry for that last kill, that's where the mistakes start to come to fruition, where you just get in this moment of you're trusting your individual skill and you're overchalling and you're getting punished by Boston, who's taken that extra breath, that extra moment to set themselves up. It's just, not another one.
Yeah, I'm curious to like see who's the guy that they look at in those moments. Like, who's their leader in those situations to try to calm everybody down, to put everyone on the same page. Because there were certain times even when you went into the listen and Courage would say something and then Webby would take a totally different approach on what they should do. Like when they were calling in that Hellstorm, as soon as I understands that he has it, all right, let's use it for P1. Initially, they wanted to fight for bottom U, but then Webby actually gives the comm, no, let's take it through mid-cut. So still a very early team not on the same page, and it continues to show, especially in the final moments of some of these maps. But I think the one thing you can always count on if you are Cloud9 is that they've always been decent at search and destroy. Even on maps that they have yet to play, they can come out with some new, young strategies, not really afraid to make mistakes, and can catch some teams off guard. So for both teams spawning in on Sake, be prepared for, if you are Boston, for the pressure on the opposite side from Cloud9.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, 4 and 6 since Cloud9 kind of squad wiped and spawned back in kind of through Major 3. That's the statistical point of all of that was through Major 3 for both the hardpoint stat and the search stat now. But at the moment, is it enough to get them through a team like Boston, who's also kind of going through the same rebuild in certain ways? See how things go. Courage watching over the middle of the map. A little push out here from Nezra, not punished. First blood tallied. Spart maybe going to get an opportunity here, but instead backs away, keeps his life, and will stay 3v4.
TJ was trying to make a play, but gets caught by Hyde. So now in a 4v2. Purge is able to find one, but he is going to be surrounded by the rest of C9. Hopefully he's able to stall time because Spart is making a big-time flank, but when you clear out the front, someone turn around. Cloud9 take round 1.
Yeah. Okay. That'll work. Following up the first blood, I just love that little bit of aggression from Nezra. It's like very Abizi-esque of, okay, there's battles happening on one side of the map, more over towards the middle. Maybe I've got a chance to get an isolated 1v1 surprisingly through the middle of the map. And that is almost exactly how that occurs. So good awareness from Nezra to give the advantage early to Cloud9. Not allowing any sort of a rebuttal through the scope of Boston was also nicely found from Webby to push him off. And yeah, defense comes through, which has been kind of the story on Sake so far.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Webby's player cam, like the guy is chirping, so he might be the actual leader for this team, and he just walked into the building. But into this round, the first blood goes to Spark instead of to Nezra. So now Hyde showing you some new tech, crawling all the way up through the bar, just hoping that his teammates can stay alive, but now it's a 4v2.
Now he's going to get a little bit of an opportunity here onto Spart, and he's able to get there before Spart finds a secondary gunfight. Nice shots over to Purge, but not clean enough. Purge able to turn him away. Webby, some trouble here, backside bridge. As he finds himself trying to finesse a 1v3. The first one's clean, almost a chance to isolate a second, but too quick on the trigger are Boston, and they respond with a defense of their own.
Yeah, I feel like Sake search and destroy. Very defensive heavy for the last couple of times that we have seen it. You just take so much space initially to start the round that forces the offensive team to take the slow and steady approach if they don't have any info gained in the first 5 to 10 seconds. So that's what's allowing players like Nezra to strike for first bloods and players like Spart to be the AR locking down the middle of the map, to be the counterpart. All-out defense to start this one.
it's been tough to find teams that can manifest offensive success.
Yeah, I feel like
And
Falcons were
obviously-
the only team to do it yesterday, but that was because it was the first time we've ever seen it.
Yep, and they found just round number 1 on offense today. I mean, it's new map stuff. I feel like the defense often has a kind of an advantage, just generally speaking, because you can pick and choose if you want to isolate or leave a space open and then play the numbers. Offense typically has to do a lot of the legwork of finding good nade spots, things of the nature. This is going to be just a full-out rush in towards bottom barrels. Nazra able to get one that was perfectly fine for a defensive effect. Over the top, Hot gets another. Afro trying to follow, and Courage shuts that down, but the trade is in. It'll give TJ the remainder of this 1v3 for just 2 left, but shot hits. Cloud9, solid on the defense.
Yeah, that's just C9 again, being the aggressors on defense, understanding where their openings are. When Nezra consistently is taking away bottom pit, you know that Boston are taking their time on their offense. So this time you have a little bit of a switch up. Instead of high playing towards that A side, he actually goes to rock side. So when the gunfight go down, thankfully your teammate gets that first blood to start off the trades, but then the pinches start to open up. Everyone's set up properly to bait and switch. And Cloud9 a step ahead, especially on the defensive round so far.
Yep. And really just Nedra getting a 1-for-1 there is brilliant.
Ideal every time. Every time.
Quick hit this round for Cloud9, but a nade will stop the play through the B bar. But this is a double hit through double stairs. I believe there were some shots there from Nedra. So yeah, Boston are very aware. This is going to play a little bit of a reclaim of the staircase, but Hyde slips away. Afro's pinch just a touch too late. We've got a 2v2.
Hey, he gave them a chance now. And now Nezra's able to get out with his life with some info, but you see on your minimap, Afro still trying to locate where he is. Webby's in a disengage, or they're going to regroup over towards Rockside, right into where TJ at.
Well, TJ also takes some damage and will value his life, but Cloud9 going to get cold feet. Making their way back over towards B, down low. Nezra trying to follow up, gets one. Shots there, but not enough damage to get the full 1v2. Boston respond.
Just a little bit more shots out of your teammate there. That's an easy 1v2 for Webby. But Afro knowing that he had the advantage, knowing that the player was going to be weak, and oh yeah, I got an NPC in my hand. Let me just send it on in. But this is one of those plays out of Boston that isn't really necessary. Hyde catches them off guard with an easy double kill. But thankfully, you still had the numbers if you are Boston to trade out in that scenario. And Afro to clutch on up on the defense again, 2-2.
Let the watch parties decide if they want to consider a VAR on that. Nezra making this play up towards window, it looks like early. So once again, Cloud9 is continuing to show different levels of aggression defensively. It was down at pit the last couple of rounds. Nezra now going to play top window. Webby's going to start the outside angle towards A. Good first connection for first blood. And Courage shuts down any peaks. And that now allows Nezra to essentially do whatever he wants. That won't even probably be needed here, as Purge is the last one left alive in a 1v4 with really nowhere to go and no bomb to play with.
He's just surrounded. They've yet to locate where he is. Potentially find a BB sit in this corner on to Hyde, but still a lot to get done if you want to walk away with this round. 45 seconds.
Nowhere to go. Okay. I mean, Jay, just to give me your early thoughts. I know it's early on, and what do you think is going to be the recipe for success here offensively? We've seen teams find maybe marginal success with like these 4-man stuff hits where you're just trying to bully something out, but it doesn't feel like you get enough layering to like hold off of those engagements. Like, where's your mind around the attack on this map right now?
I think it's either you're going to be super aggressive to not give up that pick control very early into the round and just hope to God that we win the trade fights there because they get to the space before you. But then if you decide to take the slow and steady approach, we need to be able to spread map because the information that you can gain by spotting no one over towards rock, you can start to work that late pinch, have a different angle of approach to attack through the middle of the map instead of just isolating yourself over towards A. So a little bit more spread map setup if you're going to play slow, in my opinion.
Okay, we're getting a little bit of that right here. Nezra looking over towards A. Webby with the scope down towards B. The backside of rocks, rather. Show of force over towards the bar.
This is ideal.
Honestly, yeah, I say maybe there's a chance here, but Afro, Purge pushing out through rocks, able to isolate onto Webby, cannot connect onto the shot. And you may have to just pull a quick plant here if you're Cloud9, and that's exactly what they're going to attempt to do for a 3v4.
Yeah, you would love if Webby just stayed alive over towards rock, but just drawing the attention on that side of the map to open up this bomb plant still gives C9 a chance.
Well, Nedra get one before falling, and Courage can't quite lock the shots down. So Hyde will be by himself, and that's a knife to a gunfight. You know what the old cliche cliche of that phrase goes. Boston, keep things all defense. We're tied at 3.
Yeah, it's just tough. Like I said, when Webby's the first person to die on the guy that's gathering the information, because once Boston get that first blood, they all back up and retreat, willing to give up the mid-map, keep the numbers on their side, and then they actually retake it through A Street as a collective unit. If Webby just stays alive there, keeping at least 2 Boston players at bay on that side of the map, that can create the openings through the middle. But once he falls, it's an easy rotation for Boston to retake, and I'll take the lead again.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough because when you try to play like a scope on the offensive side, outside towards Rock, you're hoping that you get the info on a shoulder and then you can just kind of hard scope the angle. But when you miss that cross, you all of a sudden have an SMG in your face. That doesn't feel fun. Boston looking to kind of smoke out the bar, maybe play for a quick B plant. But the problem with this is you have to worry about the considerable flanks that could come into play. And that is not even really a part of the problem here, as it's just a snipe followed up by a hit over through mid, and now a 4v2 starts to come out, and Cloud9 are just hitting the gas.
Yep, now it's a 1v3 all off up to Smart. Bomb is going to be down towards lower pit. And not a single player from C9 are going to be in a position to potentially isolate them. It's all about the timings.
Well, pistol for Spart will work out, but no, he can't quite get away and reset for the second fight. So once more, it started to become a tale as old as time. Defense, 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 defense.
And I just think right now, like, Boston don't really have anything else to do on this map but try to smoke it out through the middle of the map or try to go through rock side, because Webby's impact at A has forced them to be very nervous of peeking any angle on that side of the map. No one's trying to pressure towards top window. No one now going over towards the street side. That's allowing Nezra to consistently just take all that space away. You're basically trapping yourself if you are the breach. Still all-out defenses. Can C9 get the first O?
Put him in a position of control here. Boston showing aggression over through the A side of the map. Stun will lock, and Webby will keep his eye open, but it's TJ for first blood. And again, this is, you can see it. It's like that first third of the map. If you were to draw a vertical line, right essentially where the bomb is, it's so tough to get through. Like, do you want to fight a bar heady where the defense gets there first? Do you want to play up against rocks where a sniper could be looking at you? Or do you want to go outside and do a choke point? It's so hard to get through the halfway point of the map.
Eventually, teams will be able to figure out how they can get that done now. Still very early into the map pulled up. We've only seen it the 3rd time here in the CDL, and still the first blood going in favor of Boston. 40 seconds go by. Cloud9 finally get their response, and now they have a lot of A control as well. So Boston are not in a position to stop this.
Yeah, Webby getting this crossover towards the staircase means this post plant can be set up over towards P2 warehouse, but Hyde will drop. Webby responds after up close and personal. He finds the exit. Can he find one more? Almost, but no. Instead, Cloud9 are able to capitalize on just an insanely good piece of timing through the A side of the map, and Webby's double with the scope obviously helps a lot.
Yeah, that's the first offense secured here on Sake S&D. I think if you are Boston, we get the first blood, and then we just give up the map control on the side that we don't want to. Like, we know how difficult it is to retake this A site. That might be the first bomb plant that we see on this side of the map, but just not in a position to even stop this or contest this, because Webby is hitting shots like that. You give them their first offense, and now C9 at game point.
Sounds like we're going to have a timeout for a moment. But, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, I hear you about, like, the difficulties surrounding the offensive side here and what that looks like. And that last round right there it really is just down to Boston give up the A side of the map, and then you have trying to play retake, but you give away too much space. Like, Webby getting into that position over towards the staircase is everything, because you can't defensively rotate back around P2 anymore because you don't know who's in warehouse. It just creates extra layers and problems. So good heads-up play from Cloud9, honestly, to get 2 players to push through the A site with that much confidence.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is like, Boston started off that round with 3 players at that A site. That's what led to TJ getting that first blood. But then they all decided to retreat over through rocks, where there's not a bomb site in sight on that side of the map. So Boston just, you know, making some mistakes, potentially because it's the first time that they play Sake Search and Destroy. Because that is one that could be very crucial to the deciding point of who's going to win this map. Obviously, we're in a timeout. Everyone having a little bit of a reset moment. No communication on the side of Boston to try to rally this game on back. Everyone's just calm, cool, collected, taking a sip of water, just ready to get back into it.
Yep. Okay, we know it has to happen. And we've seen Boston, just to kind of, bring the frame of mind back into play here, trying for that smoke hit. It almost feels like Plaza-esque of they're trying to get a 4v4 over the bar and see if they can win it. But it's just so tough because if the defense is playing passive and not trying to get up close and personal, then okay, we have all the information and we can just surround you on the map. So interesting stuff. But I think just kind of evaluating really the key components here. Again, new roster for Boston, just by using obviously pieces of veteran presence across the league. But on the other side for Cloud9, I mean, I would say kind of the initial roster of this rebuild, if you want to call it that, or just this chance to be taken on young players. I would say that first four-man group highlighted by Nezra. Obviously, the spotlight immediately on to Wevy. What's your take, just kind of looking at the eye test, Jay, here in the CDL?
Oh, yeah, I think Wevy has the talent, no doubt in my mind. When you watch this guy, how turned he is, not only with the SMG and the AR, he also is very successful, as we've seen on this map with the sniper. Takes the aggressive angles, and when you play like that, that only tells me that your confidence is still in you. It doesn't matter who you're going up against. It doesn't matter what the tags are. Do what got you here to this point. And that's be a guy that can have pop off regardless of the situation. He also has a great mind for the game too, because when we jumped into that listen into map number 1, he was the guy vocally leading this team, and he just walked in the building 2 days ago. So Wevy, some high praise from me, and I'm excited to see his career.
And it's interesting on top of that, just because, like, let's just reflect back on other teams who have done similar things that what Cloud9 is doing, kind of like your old school LAGs, your Paris Legions. You're in a position of, like, you're not in a competitive spot. You're trying to take a chance on largely players that have not been tested. We can kind of throw that more broad umbrella over it. But this honestly feels like the first time, and maybe it's because of the dynamics surrounding the Cloud9 did this back for stage 2, and everyone's just like, what are you doing? And now I think we're all kind of at peace that, like, they're going to do whatever the heck that they want. And I feel like that actually kind of helps, like, a Nezra and a Wevy, because everyone's looking at this team as like okay, but what is this really trying to do besides just give young kids a chance to play in the CDL? And I feel like a Nezra and a Wevy, if his presence continues the way that it has, will have an opportunity to be a consideration when it comes to things like roster mania in the offseason if it goes through like it did this last year.
Oh, yeah. Webby just walks into the building, and we're already saying that about the young man because he just passes the eye test. He was able to do it a little bit versus G2, and so far he's had his moments here versus Boston. I think if you are a C9, I think they took the right approach, though, Al, because obviously they felt in the beginning of the season with their original roster like it wasn't good enough to compete at the highest level, potentially some contracts a little bit too expensive. And now you bring in a really young team that are just happy to play with each other, happy for the opportunity. And now with this roster change, happy more than ever because you get a guy who you've been playing alongside with for 4 to 5 years now, ever since they were like 13 to 14 years old. So the natural chemistry is going to be there, and you see what it does to the Cloud9 players. Everyone's smiling from cheek to cheek, even though they're getting their ass whooped sometimes, they still have a good time.
Well, speaking of teams getting potentially their rear ends wiped or whooped, or any of the combination of the two, we've got the minor coming up next week. And again, if you have missed the post, this is what the bracket will look like for it. Again, single elimination. So the lifeline for teams like Carolina, New York, Vancouver, and Boston, who desperately need points if they want to have any side of a chance to get in towards the playoffs, would be largely banked off of the fact that they have to win 2, I believe. So really, I'm kind of looking at that Riyadh versus Carolina matchup. That's a bubble match that could very well help Riyadh gain some more separation or allow Carolina to be a little bit more inside of the picture. But the problem is you still have to go through an OpTic Texas afterwards. And I won't lie, Jay, the idea of seeing another Riyadh versus OpTic kind of rematch after what they did at Major 3 is quite enticing. But to give you the full scope of the picture, here is that overall look at the season standings to this point. For Boston and New York in this particular matchup, again, they would have to pull off a miracle to get above that, Carolina threshold right now. But Carolina is in the mix if they can put together a good finish to the season.
Yeah, they're the only team in the mix right now. I think it's you and Vancouver Surge sitting at 85, especially getting reverse sweep by Boston yesterday. Yeah, we're probably not thinking about champs. The only team that should realistically is going to be the Ravens, who are down by 60. A big matchup, like you said, going up against the Falcons, because even though the Falcons found themselves up by 20, they're still technically on the bubble. So just getting wins like that, potentially deep runs in towards a minor, deep runs in towards Major 4 gives you your best opportunity. But I think this series is almost ready to rock and roll again now.
Yes, sir. I just want to throw up one more piece of conversation. You know, our top 4 teams are pretty much locked in their top 4 positions. There may be a chance for LA and FaZe to flip-flop. But on the other front, from 8th to 5th is only like 20 points. And I'll tell you what, I want to be that 5th seed right now with the current state of how Paris is playing.
I'm not playing OpTic, bro.
I'm saying, or I don't want to play LA or FaZe on any particular day. I would much rather have that 5v4 matchup. So there could be a big battle towards that position. But into the mix we go. Boston quick plant 4v4. Cloud9 forced a retake.
They're looking for their own offensive response, and they're looking like they're quickly going to get it. A 1v4. High the last man standing, and Boston just step up the aggression. Thankfully, there was no sniper from Webby over towards A Street, so they contest that side of the map. They instantly get the bomb planted, and they don't allow Nezzer to be impactful on the pinch. Great round there from Boston to stop the bleeding, and now going to defense, happy as hell.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's just because they've gotten a read that Nezra has been showing aggression through pit or up top towards window, like largely speaking, just the north side of the map, that Boston's like, if he's going to keep doing that, then let's just go for the quick plant. They only have one player, maybe throwing shoulders towards top bar, so let's just keep that window open. Beautiful call by Boston. Now just down 1, back on to what has been largely the stronger side to this point. Cloud9 looking for back-to-back offensive wins. Able to find a first blood deep, but look at the quick play up top towards bar. Boston are going to get some pit control, and they still have Spart floating, looking kind of 2 things at once, but Webby, SMG in hand, able to find a kill. Up and over, and Afro cannot find anything, and it's just on to Spart for a 1v everything, and he will only find 1 of the 4.
That's going to be C9 tying up the series. Back-to-back offensive rounds get the job done. For the Young Bucks, wearing blue. Fantastic plays from Nezra, fantastic plays there from Webby. And I love the slow and steady approach there on offense, just banking on your frags, because Boston, everything that they have done on defense worked up until that round. Yeah, you were finding great success by being the aggressors over through A Street, shutting down the potential possibility of the play developing on that side. But when you try to send 3 people through bottom pit and Cloud9 aren't instantly there to fight you, they read you very quickly and were able to use their attacks for the openings to close out this S&D, tied the series up at 1, and now it's anyone's game.
Yep. Clean. Okay. So more sake comes through. More questions surrounding how do we win on offense. But after dropping the map number 1, it's a good response from Cloud9. Dan Overload, Scar, Hardpoint. Get us through the rest of this Sunday. And honestly, just kind of looking at the overall in general, it's just another one of those same kind of stories for Cloud9. How many times have we seen them be in a position to close out a map and not be able to? Can they find a way to stay up and possibly take the edge of this series? We'll find out in this New York-Boston rivalry when we come back.
Dominate the competition on main stage with the CDL Major Hunter Tracer Pack. Collect your chip by scanning the QR code or heading to the in-game store now.
Start the season strong with the 2026 Call of Duty League Pack. Grab yourself the CDL operator by scanning the QR code on screen or check it out in the Call of Duty store in-game now. Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
I'm leaning towards Toronto. Oh, Joe, I think we have a gift for you. Oh, it's early Christmas.
I missed out on the whole Christmas memo. Do you guys send that one back?
Do you need a receipt?
I got the receipt over here.
Yeah,
if you
receipt.
need it.
What's the return policy on this thing?
I think 24 hours.
Do I have to open this?
Yeah, you have to open it
I
first.
do? Okay. Hello. This is weird. You look great. It's a brand new Maven.
Merry Christmas!
Yeah. They really got that on tight, huh?
Welcome back to the CDL. Wow, what is going on? He's the master fight. This guy is that's unbelievable.
Okay.
I knew we were coming back to him. This is not what I was expecting.
Wait, so they were here facing, we were here?
Good grenade.
Oh, he just ice skated on him. Yo, that was a skateboard move right there.
Come on the stairs, Nice. I'm looking you. Could be outer.
Outer. That's
Nice.
nice.
3v1. Nice, Joe.
Oh, nice, baby. Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm trying to scam it. They won't even kill me.
Do you agree with Smokes not being in respawn?
I do personally, yeah.
You do personally?
I do too. I think it would make the viewing experience worse.
What did I just see on my screen? Who was that guy? Did you see that?
No.
What was that guy?
I don't know.
Welcome
what
to
happened on the
Citizens
screen?
over there
I
on
missed it.
YouTube. There was some random guy, like, see how they have the quad box? Like, there was some random guy just like in the all four boxes, and he looked like he was going crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome back there, friends. We've got a 1-1 series tie between Cloud9 New York and the Boston Breach. Matchup that, again, we're just still trying to figure out what these two teams are trying to do on the rest of the year. And so far, it kind of starts off with Cloud9 dropping the ball. Not much is different from what we...
The battle between these two guys, the battle of the burgers, some would say. Boston obviously complete the reverse sweep yesterday versus Carolina, lose the search and destroy today to tie the series up at 1, but at least had the response they did on that opening den HP. But now it's anyone's game. Cloud9 obviously gained some momentum. Players like Webby continue to shine. Nezra getting lost. And these guys are just having fun at the right time. Now going into a den overload that they just played 2 days ago versus G2, even though it was a new lineup, they beat the hell out of G2 on that map. They outslayed them by 21 kills. Webby was the lead guy in the slaying department. And with the aggression that they had, you got to expect these young guys to consistently just be moving. So if you are Boston, players like Mr. Purge, a playmaker Purge, needs to be able to answer the call on the opposite side, because you know what Afro can give you. He's that guy that's going to be hitting those long routes, getting behind enemy lines, multi-kill after multi-kill. You're banking on the ARs to be the safety nets, but you need to be able to match the aggression here of Cloud9, because when they win maps, they always go into the next one firing on all cylinders. And with such a young team who are basically playing with nothing to lose, everything to gain, all you want to do is continue to raise your stock. So take a look at the maps and modes. Boston obviously still map number 1, even though it felt like Cloud9 were in firm control from start to finish. But then the response in search and destroy on Sake. C9 tied the series up, and I think Alan is finally back. Alan needs some water.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. My PC just like hard froze. I thought vMix on my side was crashing, and all of a sudden I hear you start talking. I go, wait a second. But no, we're back into the mix here. Yeah, I mean, it's just when you look at how Overload has grown over the course of the year, it's always really tough to ask a new team to match what we're seeing at the top level, but that's also kind of the requirement of you are now way behind because you have to figure out how the team is going to work together, but you also need to try to figure out how to play at the level of your OpTics and your Riyadhs for that matter, and your LAs as of recently, man. Like, it's just, you just have a hard time like getting yourself onto that level of coordination.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, man, because that level of coordination comes with a lot of years of experience. World champions on every single one of those lineups that you just mentioned. And they have yet to even sniff a championship Sunday if you are the young C9 roster. But on the opposite side, if you are Boston, they're so locked in now. They are so locked in. Just looking at those player cams, they know that they finally have an opportunity out this stage compared to all the rest to give themselves the best chances at making a winner's bracket for the first time this season. You just got to get through matchups like this, man. I know you don't want to be 1-1 versus Cloud9, but job not done. We can still win it in 4.
Very well could. Again, we're talking about the future implications when it comes down to these rosters, but there's also, of course, a little bit more to the future of Call of Duty in full. I'm sure at this point you've probably seen it, but let's take a look back to check out the Modern Warfare 4 trailer upcoming.
10 mics, your asses better be in formation north of the stadium. Orders are anytime, any place. Sergeant J, keep your scouts in line.
Can we make a pit stop at the Komate?
The new guy is low on rations. Make it fast, guys.
Who's that, a K-pop star?
The new supreme leader of North Korea.
No shit. I mean, that dude looks younger than I am.
You guys heard that?
작전 개시. 요시 종료.
You're still a wanted man.
Yeah, I know.
What did you do?
What I had to.
We make our own rules of engagement now. You are moving a weapon of war. The kind we deny exists.
Well, you do what you need to. Because you know I will.
대반자를 찾아내라. 마을을 불태워서라도. 제발.
수류탄 투척! You're not ready. We could all die tonight. We don't even get a choice. You broke a lot of rules, Price. No more rules.
COD Champs tickets are on sale now. Come see the best teams lock in for this season's grand finale in fabulous Las Vegas. All 4-day passes come with early venue access. Head to FazeVegas.com or scan the QR code to get your tickets now.
Scuff, official controller of the CDL. Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Brought to you by America's Navy and the special operators who work in the shadows.
Lock in! Oh my god, it's a bang out! And that's the round.
Nice show.
Cracked.
Bro, that a completely whiffed in the first. Well,
I had
he gets
to.
2.
And that's the beauty.
And I had 3 people one shot, so like, nice one,
That's good
Joe,
right there.
Time, man. Like when you have the Slayers, when you have the talent there, it's all about putting it together.
Marnie, your top guy.
Wait, I think they're probably working, eh?
Yeah, they have Deddy, by the way.
Sheesh. Sheesh, bro.
Good
Hold that.
Sheesh.
Bro, my POV that.
Dash
Scratchy
Oh
on
my
the
God,
first
what a
three
play.
coming in from old time. And,
I love this.
Well, now shots
Can't read this. Yeah, what a play.
He
should let one walk past. Yep.
Here comes the
Yep,
first.
beautiful
Wait for
Free
that
two-piece. Great play.
Chelsea. That is
Yep, I mean,
exactly
free
what it
gorgeous.
Oh,
And we
gets
is that gonna flip
himself
spawns?
three.
Yo, that was
Last man
beautiful
left
by
alive for
Ant.
the Falcons, and OpTic are starting to figure it
And
out.
you know what?
Now you wanna
That
try
ain't
to
gonna
turn
show
the
up on the
rest of this
scoreboard.
But
what a play.
You stay L-triggered, Mercs there for
Just
two.
broke the hill
Shotzi
basically
there for the
by himself.
kill.
This is perfect. Just funnel them green. We have this grandma rotation. 10 seconds left.
I think it's certainly
Right
found
now,
their
it's
form.
Oh my God.
GG. Nah, this is GG, bro.
It's not GG till GG. It's not GG till GG.
GG.
Not GG till GG, Tom.
Caesar.
Caesar, holy let's go. Holy sh**.
I just jinxed the Falcons.
You jinxed him, Tom.
I just jinxed the Falcons. I just jinxed them.
Solo Caesar, one shot. He's dead. That's it. They can go there deep. That's it.
Yo, pinch.
Nice, left there. That's above you. He went down. Down.
Absolute, my bad. He's one shot. You guys got this. You got this. Money for you. Way better. Wait.
Nice!
Let's go.
If I lose that, then just take the Porsche away. Alright. Now the car, come on. Yeah.
They watched us play Searchlight that? Oh my God, they're shit.
I got it so bad.
Nice.
Come on. Let's go. Come on, Benjay. Come on, Benjay.
Oh, man.
He just overextended kill me. There needs to be a trade there.
Won the unball, man. Won the unball, boys. You won the unball.
How are you losing that? Oh my God! No fundamentals out of the full pro squad.
My guy's checked.
Bro, every time I cast, they always want to throw that damn clip up. I'm sick and tired of being world star by Benjay with former pro players on my team. I'm 100% always going to blame Nameless. But please, production, take that out. I'm sick and tired of seeing it.
You know how you don't get featured in CDL TV, Jay?
Don't get world star? Yeah.
Don't stream.
That too.
It's kind of like, how do you get a good bunker game in golf? Don't hit it in the bunker. That's perfect. Oh, goodness. We've got ourselves just obviously a little bit of extended tech issue right now, but for the moment, it all finds down to, again, the little things. That's just really, I think, maybe the big key when you look at kind of how this year has gone for some of the teams that are on the bottom side of the overall standings. There's been a lot of little things that just keep cropping up, and the fixes just do not come to fruition in time to put yourself in a competitive position. And instead of trying to, work out the kinks, it's, okay, now we got to change the system completely. And sometimes that works, other times it doesn't. And now we find ourselves in that position of both these two teams just kind of battling for, well, some career longevity, maybe more than anything else.
Yeah, both these teams got a lot to play for, man. For such a young team in Cloud9, just for your reputation, your chances at next season, because obviously we already sold Modern Warfare 4. Game looks fantastic, man, and I don't know if you saw a little bit of the gameplay out. There's no Omni movement. So all these young crack-turn players, you're going to have to quickly learn how to make those adjustments, and that's where the experience can potentially play a part. So for Boston, I know it hasn't been the season that you currently want, but you have a chance to still right the wrongs at the very end to give yourself a great finish going into the next game.
Truth. That is very true. They've already seen a lot of the long-standing veterans that are like, hey, Omni movement, I'm back.
Slowing down. Wait, they brought the Unks back, brother. It's for the Unks now.
A lot of anchor ARs are like, yeah, let me get that. Could be the year of the AR. Right now, we find ourselves in a season of NPCs, though. I'll tell you that much. And it's, it's exciting, I think, to kind of see, players largely like what we're seeing out of Cloud9 be able to step in and kind of showcase their individual, POVs in particular, but there is something to be told, and to kind of piece both of those points together, talking about the little mistakes that we've seen from some of our bottom teams versus what you're talking about in terms of a slower game. It's, you have to be methodical and completely aware of the game-winning mechanics. You know, to reference the old meme from last year of like, they're not playing to win. You have to still play off of the objective overall. And when the game slows down, obviously that turns into a heavier focus, generally speaking.
And I think the only thing that Cloud9 could have potentially have done with their roster this season is just to keep one player at least with some experience to teach these young guys, because you hear it all the time. Like, you can be an up-and-comer. You can have the most talent in the world. But for all the best players that have ever played Call of Duty, they were taught by some of the greatest to ever play the game. Players like Shotzi, who first walks into the league. Oh, yeah, his first team alongside Crib6 and Clay. Like, can you imagine that? Like, that's what you need if you're such a young player. Just a player that can teach you what you need to do to be a longevity kind of staple in the CDL. And with such a young team, realistically, they still don't have that guy for the Cloud9 lineup. So I don't really know how their career could potentially turn out, because without that experience, I'm telling you, that plays such a big part to your career and the longevity aspect.
There's also the kind of focus that comes with like the support system as well behind that, coaching staff, all of that stuff that kind of comes into play. But we'll continue that conversation at a different point, because we're still experiencing some tech issues. So we're going to go ahead and jump off to another break. I know we want to get to the overload. We'll get there as soon as we can. You're back.
COD Champs tickets are on sale now. Come see the best teams lock in for this season's grand finale in fabulous Las Vegas. All 4-day passes come with early venue access. Head to FazeVegas.com or scan the QR code to get your tickets now.
Scuff, official controller of the CDL. Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Brought to you by America's Navy and the special operators who work in the shadows.
But now Kiz is in a great spot to find a first blood. That was insane. Oh my God, why did he just do that?
Joe's face was comedy in here.
Here with you. One shot. You which shot P2 if you need? Hurt for you. Actually hurt, nice. All time. Balcony, nice.
FaZe fans, the hype squad in the front row, they make it to nearly every single event. That poor guy that hit the deck today outside the venue, is he here?
Saw that. That was tough.
Hey! That poor guy ate concrete for breakfast. Tough one.
There's the check. Oh, I like it more. Sprayed in the face.
But early in our 7th circle here, there's still 30 teams left. You don't have any resources. Get to the zone if you can. Win your gunfight. Maze somehow sneaks through. You see a lone Nubu Spartan running around like a chicken with his head cut off. There were so many squads. This is unprecedented. Being able to see this from the Codcaster is so special. There's our first moving zone.
Yeah, got me. Don't even worry about it. Got these guys on.
So go next.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
Did you go next?
Just go next. Just go next.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, we gotta laugh that one off, boys. Oh,
Yeah, we gotta laugh that one off.
I'm bad.
We gotta laugh that one off.
Correct.
Now the Ravens soar. Now the Ravens battle. The final 5 moments for them now. What a turnaround. What a tournament. Carolina survive. OpTic Texas go home.
Down to 3 for either side. This is going to be it. Last ditch attempt. Flying on the point. Joe Deceives gets his. But 3 seconds to go. You've got to get on the zone, lad. Fresh mag. Send it. Wins it. Oh my God. It's a 2v1. Diamond Con. Can you do it? The boys are on the capture. It's now a 1v1. What a round of control. Diamond Con, if you win this. God damn, what a round.
Man, Wixel, so just gonna have to slide him with ARs.
Nice little deep shoulder coming through.
Oh! Wow! No way! He gets the one through the drop, and then all.
Been magnificent. Miami take the lead. They're trying to close it out.
Cell first kill's good though, but Miami battle back. They've got themselves the trade. Oh! It's just down to Cell with the what? Oh! He's gonna get all 4. Atlanta are gonna reinforce the hard point first. Miami, no trophy systems are locked in place by stuns. Oh, it's an absolute breakdown by the end as Cell finishes on 5 to steal away the map.
Real as well. All down to the smoke play from up high. He's going for a joke. Johnny down. 1v1. And Real singing across the stage.
Creo además que P-Cool tiene unas palabras especiales que dedicar. ¿Qué les quieres decir a la audiencia en el día de hoy?
I just want to say I lived 2 great years in the league. I love all of you, even the Greenwall fans, you know. Love all of you. We make COD so much special. It's so nice to have it aquí en España. Vamos a todos, hola a las familias. Vamos HERETICS!
Come on, guys. Hold the line. Oh, God, they're still second. They're on the other side. There's no respawns remaining. Oh, no. It's all falling apart.
Yeah, there's still time left.
Oh, if they get the minute extension, it's done. Oh. 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 It's done.
Well, you said it was the law.
It is the law. No, this is literally, it's literally the law of control, though. It is, man. It doesn't matter how. It's wide open.
4-3.
1, 2.
No!
Oh, no.
It's real.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
It's over.
That's a G. Definitely no Rocket League. G2 just hooked them. Oh, my God.
GG, man.
He's done.
Wow, bro. Wow.
Look at him talking shit.
Oh,
He said, I run you motherfuckers. That's it. Oh, God.
Oh.
That was a breakdown.
I have the door push.
Okay,
Wait, stay left. Long. I have the door. Use your 2 front door. Look at 1.
Let's get front door. Let's get front door. What's your front door? What's your front? Nice one. Let's get late.
Long. Stay left, bridge left.
Oh, my God.
Man, let's go. Baby. We're sweeping them. I promise you.
God.
Holy
Open time. Quinn is in.
Standy will get free info here onto Assault. Quickly finds the kill. Whoa! He's going for the assassination. Didn't hold the button down long enough. And Assault says not so fast.
Let me tell you right now, these guys play every day. You should know you cannot assassinate someone when they are a little bit taller than you on the map. And unfortunately, the 1 beat down doesn't work, but you know them hands from Assault. They are definitely warm. 2 punches right to the chest to take down Standy.
Oh my God. Both players are at a standstill right next to each other, and they spot each other. Sketch trying to get the nose. You're a child! You're a child! You're a child! God. You gotta be kidding me! Yes! W's in a tap for Sketch. W's.
Oh my God,
Trophy
here we
down.
go. They got the stack. Second tick is done. FaZe trying to go. It's moving so quickly. Can they get in and contest? They're soaring through. It's just about done. The contest is in. Shotzzy kills everybody in front of him, but FaZe are able to get in. Getting a point, man. Here we go. Gotta hold with no respawns. They're holding for now. They win one. Nobody left. FaZe hold with no respawns remaining.
I'm not gonna lie, you can see, bro. It looks like I've been playing the map for 3 years. I swear to God. I get to the bottom.
I'll show you later. There's some new plant tech.
Is there?
There's new plant tech. It's insane.
It's actually. I thought I had the flow. I thought, bro.
Brandon, there's a way to throw all your attacks while planting the bomb.
No.
I'm not doing that.
You know how like whenever you
Here come the Falcons. Boo!
You can boo him. You can hate him.
Yeah, we're booing.
How aggressive.
Let's get him.
All right, yeah, boo!
Is that good? Yeah. Look at AG. He's smiling, taking it all in. Yeah, he's walking on like he's a pop. Yo, AG is so funny, bro.
Here they
Be careful here.
3, 2, 1. Don't line up.
Oh, what a flick. Wait, he's going back for more? Oh.
Simple?
Oh! Three!
That was gotta give him that!
That was good!
Oh my God!
Holy sh**. That was crazy.
Give that to him.
Give that to him!
Right where he wanted him to.
Last series of the day. Just, Riley, I don't even want to talk about it. Just throw up our predictions. You know who we're picking.
You know which way we're going. Go ahead and light it up purple across the board.
Yes, do that.
Yo, is this rigged? They didn't even go through the picks.
They didn't even go. Wait, so nobody's picking Cloud9? That's actually biased. I'm sorry.
This is one of those series you see on the schedule and you're like,
See if they can stand it.
Get this one done. Go
yeah,
enjoy our day.
yeah, let's get in there. Let's finish it up quick.
They may have booked dinner tonight or something.
Let's go!
The people's team! What the? I'll admit I was wrong. That's impressive. That's
We were
great
all
work.
wrong. Yeah, we were all wrong.
That's great work from C9 right
We
there.
were all wrong. I'll give it to him.
What an awesome.
We get it?
Yeah.
Boom. Let's go. I want to say that I was not trying to curse us. I did not. I thought it was 250 kills. So when we were up 70 kills, I was like, "There's no way we can lose."
Yeah.
Now it makes.
Iron Doge does it all now.
Go big.
Unicorn.
Welcome back there, friends. We are finally game ready. Hope you enjoyed CDL TV. No subscriptions to any streaming services needed. You can just enjoy that on extended break or a normal 3-minute break. Let's get into the overload here, though, Jay. We've got Den. Webby, I will say again, debut-wise, you like what you see. The numbers also implicate that, yep, he's got some sauce to play with. Your player to watch, or who are you looking at?
Oh, yeah. Now, Webby's 100% my player to watch, man, because the guy just has takeover ability. Obviously passes the eye test, can do it with multiple weapons, and isn't afraid to make the right play for the C9 roster. So Webby, who was the leading factor to the dominant victory versus G2, can he be the same exact response here versus Boston?
Well, it might be needed. Opening break-off looking really solid right now for Boston. Webby able to find one, but that's going to lead to all 4 down. Forward blocker and TJ not going to be able to do too much, so there will be an opportunity for Cloud9 to come off spawn and respond defensively. The EMP already thrown over towards B, but yeah, Hyde just slides across, finds one, and that will have Boston, well, actually looking to still force this. Bit peculiar to say it plainly, and Afro just dancing. A couple of kills come out, but Cloud9 defensively will have Hyde holding strong.
Hyde is making big-time plays. Almost finds the third to single-handedly shut down this score for Boston, but at least stalls out enough time for everyone to regroup over through this B side. So the reset comes in back through the middle of the map. Kills are going in favor of C9. Afro just trying to value his life, gets caught, and all the map control you just had is now in favor of the opposite team.
Okay, can you get this forward play though from Webby? Able to find the first one nicely. You also get some success over through the dojo. Shots from Natural 4 in a row. Spart able to only find one in response. Purge holding the defensive line for now, but he's got a lot more to deal with it as Encourage finds the kill. The EMP will come through for the first score for Cloud9. And we're not done yet. That's the bigger part about this EMP spawning over towards the bottom side of the map. Look at Webby coming across the middle of the map. Encourage has done an incredible job to find a couple. Opens the door for Webby's position. Problem is there's no lead blocker in front of Dojo, and Nezrel just have to back away.
Oh yeah, and if you're C9, I already see the game plan. Everyone is rocking the MPC. They're just trying to run and gun right now versus the breach. And that has been good enough for the first score, but now on their second attempt, they get shut down. Boston in control of the EMP, now working their way up to the middle of the map. Webby is going to be surrounded. He's hoping that his teammate can get the trade, but Afro pops a double. Now Boston going B.
Okay, could be a chance here. Nezra in the way, but no, can't find the first kill nor the second needed. Encourage also will drop on the exit from this EMP detonation, so there will be a chance here for Boston, even though they'll be lower on numbers, to still get over to the rooftops first. Purge try to play his life, and actually no, we'll just grab the EMP and try to get out of here. Spart able to provide some out exit, and there may be a chance to actually catch C9 at mid as well. Spart looking for it, but is shut down. Cloud9 looking good with the numbers.
This is a scary situation now that you're in. If you are Boston, you're just hoping that players are able to find a couple kills to make this rotation easier, but thankfully you got a TJ Halley who locates a double. So now map control is still being fought for, with C9 backs against the wall, need to clutch up or stop.
Okay, well, Encourage will find two that will pretty much put the offensive play out of question. And now there's a chance to respond. TJ able to keep the play relatively alive. Purge trying to reinforce Spart over through 10. Webby trying to hold, but he gets gunned by the pistol, so hold on. Now you've got a quick flank moving over through couches. Trophy system down will keep Boston set up. Can you find the opening if you're Afro? But wait, Spart just goes too quickly. There's still a chance to follow up behind this, and that will be enough to get yourself in a position to get a second score.
Yeah, and that's all shout out to Spart, man. The guy who's staying alive in towards 10 when he's surrounded by nothing other than Cloud9 players. He's able to give you the double, one with the M15, one with the pistol. And that eventually leads to the score, but now Cloud9 looking for a very quick response. You don't take care of him on the cross, and there's no one showing presence over towards Plat's side, so last guy is going to be Nezra with the EMP. Should be a cleanup.
And it is. Encourage still hanging over towards Dojo. Will pretty much entrap Boston towards the top side of the map, but Cloud9 really don't have as many defensive players back as you'd like. Holding the line for now, though, is Boston. Afro for one. Webby able to connect onto a Semtex Plus is able to find Afro, and that will change the EMP's hands. TJ going to be late here, and look at the position from Encourage. He never really gave this up, and the problem is he can't get back over towards pillars, but it doesn't make a difference. The space he gained was enough. We're tied at 2. 50 seconds on the clock.
Stop the pressure at rooftop. Your lead blocker is already behind enemy lines. It's influencing them to spawn all the way across the map. A free score there to run it on in and tie the game up. But now with 40 seconds to go with, you're losing the gunfights that are very important in this position. And the EMP carrier doesn't wait for anyone. So Spark just flies on into a 1v4, and now all of Cloud9 are here to clean up house.
Yeah, that's tough. I think if you're Spart, you're thinking, wait a second, I think I've got a free route to just run this thing forward, and he nearly did. Problem was, nearly is not enough. Last 18 seconds. The Afro EMP carry is underway. He's trying to see if he can pull the defense away from this B position for the overtime that's likely to come through. Webby is still holding. Encourage looking for the pincher on the back through mid, and no one's watching for this whatsoever. Problem is Encourage completely whiffs, and Purge finds another from the front. Webby will drop. It's just down to one. It's got to be Hyde. Stuns, nades, all trying to come through. Spark not able to find the first kill, but it doesn't make a difference. Overtime will quickly expire with the score. And man, I'll tell you, it just felt like Boston maybe had a chance for more there, but still come away pretty darn good.
Yeah, and I was just so locked in on Afro's. Player came there, he had to take a good laugh at it. Because no one watches the map, and Courage finds the opening, but just not the gunfight that he was looking for. Because I'm pretty sure it's Afro with that EMP in that final push. Just gets to read, okay, there's pressure here. But it was Smart who leads to the score number 2. And then it's the rest of Boston just rallying at the right time. Like, Encourage had the play right in front of him, Val. And that's just one gunfight that you desperately need to find. And now I understand why Afro's laughing a little bit, because he just destroyed Encourage for that cap.
3-2 the count. Switch the sides. Can Boston extend their lead? Can Cloud9 continue to respond? The 2 questions to ask. Opening exchange has us still looking for some forward position if you're Boston, but that's all shut down. Leaves Spark essentially by himself. He is still hanging on to the Hellstorm he was able to earn pretty early on in the first half. Nice response there from Purge, because otherwise there would have been a score probably towards B, but Purge is going to find 2, and now he's the one creating space for Boston, or at least attempting to before being shut down from behind.
Yeah, usually on the second half, this is when Playmaker Purge really starts to make big-time plays. So finds a very important kill to stop that quick score from coming in. Allows your teammates to still stabilize around this map, and now this is where Playmaker Purge can make big-time plays. Pushes all the way through the rooftops, team nades going back and forth, and now even though he's the last man standing, keep the EMP safe is your job.
Well, Nezra's trying to get forward in his own right over towards the B side of the map. Problem is Boston are finding the kills they need over through the middle. Now you got to get back to the play through Nezra. You'll find Afro, but you get the kill from Spark like you call. Plus you've got TJ with him, and Boston will find an opening to score their 4th over towards the B point. Now it's the mad dash back over to Dojo side, and honestly, Hyde has given up a lot of space here, but still has the angle locked. Finds the first. Cloud9 find the kill from the front, and now it's just down to can you deal with Spark over through the Dojo side, and they eventually will, but the numbers are dwindled too much to do much with this if you're Cloud9.
Yeah, it didn't matter what Nezra was able to find success on that late pinch, with Spark still showing presence over towards Dojo. Shuts down that play single-handedly. So now it's a battle for the map control. Right now, Boston have more to work with because there's presence from Purge sitting around that mid-map area. You know, all of Cloud9 are going to be fighting over towards 10, so here comes Purge on the pinch. That's already 2 dead. Yeah. This is an opportunity for Boston to get another score.
Yeah, great patience from Afro waiting for Purge to get involved. Last player left alive for Cloud9 is Nedra, but he is being held by TJ. Problem is from the front, things will come through, and it'll be a 5-2 count here for Boston. EMP quickly back over towards the rooftops. Webby has maybe opportunistically opened something up here with that first blood. But keep your eye on number 5. Purge is just waiting for his chance to pinch from behind.
Yeah, second half player. Playmaker Purge. Waiting for his moment to strike. My teammates shut down the pressure over the rooftops. You're bound to wrap it right into me. Ooh. And Encourage is ready with the Jaeger. Gets the headshot, and now Clyde I have a lot of space to work with.
Problem is, Spark will shut down the potential extension to B.
Okay.
The defense will spawn up right in the middle of the map, and they're able to at least shut down the play through couches at the same time. Cloud9 a little stuck in the mud right here. Webby gives you 1, make it a second, but crossed up as Purge finds trade over through P2. Now it's Nezra's turn, and this is where things can get a little out of hand if you're Cloud9, where we just get a little too individualistic. But so far, all the individual gunfights will turn up their way, and now it's just the decision-making time of which direction we want to go.
And I don't know if they know, but you're currently down in this score. Encourage is getting destroyed by Afro in so many of these important one-on-one gunfights. And that's not going to lead to 4 dead. Boston turning defense into offense. Already showing a lot of his presence over towards rooftop. They're just looking for the opening kill. At least it's still a lot of time for TJ to strike on this pitch.
Yeah, can Spark keep his life? Answer is no. Oh, man. TJ 4 in a row, though. I think Spark's still holding out of the Hellstorm. May not need it. Minute 20 on the clock. 3-score differential. Feels like we're already within the bounds to start talking about map number 4. Afro. Pistol. Help from Purge. Last one to find is Hyde, but he finds the kill. But Hyde actually falls off the map right there. So credit the kill to Purge. Cloud9 will obtain the EMP, and they've got to go quick.
Yeah, leader's advantage is one hell of a thing in Overload because you can just tell the difference in Boston's gameplay from the first half to the second half. Timing your flanks to perfection to lead to scores or at least leads to stops. And I don't know if this Hellstorm's going to get here in time. You're going to bring it all the way down. It doesn't matter. Cloud9 get the score. And now the reset back in the middle of the map with 40 seconds.
Well, can you get a couple of kills here to maybe allow the player off spawn to grab the EMP and follow up on these positions? No, Purge has the knife out towards top window. Webby will fall, hide around the back, can't find anything, and that will be enough for Boston to close this map out. The question will just be to what score tally? Cloud9 a couple of kills here, but yeah, man, it's just another one of those moments where, again, you look towards the scoreboard, not heavily outslayed was Cloud9. No. It just came down to a couple of long flanks, honestly just left you short-handed on some of the defensive moments, and of course you had a couple of great individual plays from players like Afro and Spark.
Yeah, some gunfights that don't go your way play a big part on some of these scores at the very end of the game, but Boston, when they needed to have it, they got it done. So many stops on the goal line, and I'm telling you, when you have a leader's advantage in Overload, you just play a totally different game going into that second half. Because you're up by 3, there's no need to rush anything. You know that you're not the aggressors, you don't have to be the playmakers, so you just wait for them to make mistakes time and time again. And I felt like Cloud9, even though they had a lot of possession time, they weren't really going the right ways, Al. Like, you were consistently trying to fight through the middle of the map, trying to push it through couches, trying to push it through bottom U, where a lot of those play decisions are like 50-50 chances. No, if we secure the right side, or if we secure rooftops, and we find those skills to go in sync, yeah, we make the game a whole lot easier on ourselves. But when you are consistently just making it more difficult for yourself, that's allowing Boston to just quickly come off the respawn, fill a gap, have a one-on-one clutch gunfight to be a turning difference of that play call. And even though Cloud9 get 3, Boston were in firm control.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right to point to the decision-making moments. I think in particular the one that stands out is when you get essentially 3 dead and you know where the 4th player is for Boston, and Cloud9 are just kind of stuck at the middle of the map. Like, are we going A? Are we going B? It's almost like they're waiting to figure out if they can get that next wave of kills where you don't really have full awareness of where the spawns are. And that just kind of leads to moments where you're stuck. You're stalled out. Like, you don't have the ability of controlling the map and, you know, using that to especially down, you know, 4-2 at that point, I believe it was, to relay and actually create an opportunity to go from one score to another, which is what some of the best teams are able to do here at this stage of the game. So great stuff from Boston on the other front, and a lot of it, again, just off of some individual moments, especially against Encourage, which is never fun, but hey, that's what Afro brings to the table, man. He's got that dog.
I'm telling you, when Afro's playing dead, if you manage to challenge him in towards that P2 area, you're most likely gonna lose. I swear, I don't watch that guy lose any gunfights in that position. Because Afro just got that dog in him. So many clutch fights. Boston able to take the Overload with a little bit of ease. And yeah, now you got to reset. I know it was a long break. It definitely killed the momentum on the side of C9.
Hey, for real.
But now you need to respond on a map that you did play versus G2. Even though you got smoked, you could be able to learn from it to be better this time around.
Yeah, they've played this map a lot to have this new Cloud9 roster. They played it in almost every single Major 2 qualifier, and then kind of got away from it a little bit in Major 3. But you're right, that series that stands out, of course, most recently versus G2. Couldn't win gunfights on rotation, led to dominant setups for G2, largely speaking, just kind of to throw a general umbrella over how the map had gone. And even though there were opportunities, and I think a lot of, I would say, like, appropriate calls of like, okay, someone's got to try to hit a route. They were. It just, again, you're not finding the efficiency and effectiveness that you want to when you're playing either on that route, or the 3 players that have to stay alive to wait for that route aren't able to, or they don't. And that's the other thing about teams like this that, you know, we often see. I think it's to kind of paint the picture, like at this stage of the year, like in challengers, you see that a lot, where it's just like, hey, this group of 4 guys who made it through like the elite qualifiers with some excitement surrounding them, then play a veteran roster that find themselves in challengers, and they just cannot find a way to out-rotate teams that do the proper stuff, you know, that execute off of the macro game that gives you few objective controls. So that's, I think, the big focus for me for Cloud9 going into this second day of trying to play this map.
Yeah, and I think you hit it right on the head, Al. With a map like Scar, fundamentals need to be there. Because if you're consistently playing from the back foot, that means you're spawning all the way across the map. You're giving up all the power spots to the team that's doing the little things, right? And it could just start to spiral out of control, especially if you give up early Hellstorms in the first, like, P1 to P2 chain. Because that is a difference maker, especially when you go over towards P3. You're just always going to be in a bad position. So for players like Webio, so far in the series, sitting at a 1.1 overall KD. You did fantastic work on the opening den, and you have an opportunity here to change the outcome here on Scar Hardpoint. But the back of your mind is, how do we make the game easier just being the team early to the punch?
Yeah, and you had to hit that first layer to start things off. Knowing what side of the map you want, when to hit those timings, and to make sure that you're not getting too over-aggressive on how you're zoning out hard points. Good start here off the break-off. Afro able to shut down one, but Cloud9, I like this. You're forcing the spawns up towards the top side of the map. It's creating kind of a no decision where Boston have to play around the long flank. Spark does give one, but the trade is out, and Cloud9 looked great here in the first hard point.
Ideal, and that's so far pushed up through that motel side that you know Boston have to OE. They have to work through plane, or at least take time to rat back to take care of him. Takes two players to take down Nezra, but all that time it took to take care of him allowed C9 to soak up a majority of this P1 time, and that player's in a position that they want to over towards News. So Cloud9 coming out swinging.
Yeah, I mean, this is more than swinging. This is haymaker after haymaker right now. It's going to be 30-6. Cloud9 in position to open up P2 to their back, but don't stay too overextended. You might give away too much of the map. No one's in the hard point here for Cloud9 for the first 10 seconds, so you're so focused on controlling the map, you lose sight of the objective, and all of a sudden, Boston's at the front door. They're able to already neutralize the time. You've got a player putting pressure on the pinch, and all things said and done, it's Boston who are going to have the better control of P2.
Yeah, that's tough. Tried a little too much there, Al. Taking too much space, not having anyone on the objective. Allowed Boston to realize, wait, no one on the hard point? Everyone flooded through motel. And they at least made it scrappy for the first 30 seconds, but now C9 are able to stabilize. They are all swinging over towards green. You know where your focus needs to be and hide his value in his life so well in towards P2.
Got good correction here from Cloud9 through the halfway point of the hard point. But the kills on the exit are good. You're going to have a 50-50 foot race here to see who can get to the plane first. Afro will be the first one nearby. TJ working on the position. Afro's able to find the first blood. Spark trying to cut off the cross through mid. And this is another solid rotation here for Boston, where, again, look at Cloud9. Just like everyone's stacked on top of each other. We're not creating routes. We're not opening up space. We're just a little stuck, and Boston are feasting off that.
Yeah, playmaker Purge doing exactly what he does. On 7 in a row, locking down the spawn. Once that old P2 hill ended, Nezra actually had a really good spawn over towards blue, but decided to chow the player on old instead of rotating to the backside of both. Which gave Purge 7 in a row, which potentially gives him a hellstone going forward in this game. But Cloud9, at least for now, still no trophy systems in play. Get the break from the front side of green.
Get in the hard point. Okay, there we go. Encourage eventually able to step up 4 in a row.
Wait, we used it here?
Hellstorm called early.
Oh,
wow.
Hell no.
We're talking 16 seconds of time, Jay. Afro's behind the play, so he'll have Cloud9 spawning all the way out. TJ looking for the trade at mid, and we'll be able to finally confirm the kill onto Hyde. So the Hellstorm neutralizes time from Cloud9 and guarantees you the rotation to 4. It may not necessarily play off as the most valuable Hellstorm in the world, but at least it gives you something.
Yeah, it gave you some space then. Wins the rotation over towards P4. Allows you to take the lead by a slight margin, but already on the first attempt, C9 showing a lot of presence over through motel. 2 players already across the map, and they'll make it 3, and Spark is easily sniffed out. So C9 take the lead, take the spawns, and now Boston have to break in.
Yeah, that was effectively a Hellstorm for about 15 seconds of hard point
That's
time.
Awful,
we'll let you at home decide that was
terrible.
worth it. Never mind, no, we won't. Jay's going to just tell you it was not worth it. Here we go. Boston with the counter break, though. Keeping it mixy around the 4th hard point. Afro shut down, trying to create space from the front. TJ, though, able to follow up nicely. And that will keep Cloud9 more than arm's reach away from this back 15 seconds or so. Kind of forces the decision to scrap and rotate here. And honestly, for Cloud9, you may actually appreciate that, saying, okay, we don't have to get lost in this moment of gray matter. We can just kind of set ourselves up, and so far, the setup is working out nice.
Yep, they already find 2 kills off the rotation. They already have space being laid through the middle of the map. As Hyde finds a kill, but Now you know exactly where all the pressure's going to come in if you are C9. Just now we need to clutch up on these fights in the middle of the map. Thankfully, Webby quickly filling the gap. Also reading the pressure that the guy's also going to be on you at green. You set up your teammate and C9 shut down the first push.
Okay. Webby on 5, getting close to a potential hellstorm, but the battles he has in front of him are not easy ones. Instead, Webby will try to help out with the middle map. Nice shots, able to shut down Purge, but traded quickly by TJ. Hyde looking for the trade in his own right, able to find one. Afro from the front, though, gets an entry kill, and there's no follow-up there. Afro finds Ekin. So even though Hyde's got mid-map, he needs a teammate to clear out the hard point, and they will do exactly that. And Focus now with 15 seconds remaining will move back over towards 1. That double from TJ will allow Boston to essentially control Cloud9 spawns, playing all the way back behind P5.
Dude, this guy's got a beamer, bro. He's not missing with this M15. All right, if you're in front of me, you're probably going to get terminated. TJ, you're the next one up for the chow. 2 in a row for the young buck and Webby. But it's a bad situation to be in if you are a C9. You have to work out. Someone has to hit a long route, find an opening kill because Boston have everything on lock.
Well, you can see with Cloud9, they're stuck, man. It's another one of those moments where no one's able to help create a route. Everyone's stuck over in one particular spot on the map. And Spart's got that locked. Sees another crosser over towards mid-market. Purge trying to step up for it, but it's TJ who gets the double. And again, it's just, we're not creating, this feels very G2, like the series versus G2. We're just not creating the space to get anything going. We're just kind of forcing these fights from the front. Fortunately, the trophy system expires. That allows Nezra to open up the hard point.
And now I'm making to take this final 15 seconds, but Purge continues to freaking shine. 18 and 12, 6 bullets is all it took to get the better of that player on the side of C9, but Boston with a fantastic hold, take the lead by a slight margin. It's a tie game going over towards P2, and Purge is still showing presence at blue, exactly what he needs to do for his team.
Yep, Purge is hanging on over in the shack. Teammate will spawn with him, that's Afro. From the front, TJ is doing it all over towards red steps, and this is staggering Cloud9 on their respawns in a very punishing way. All 4 will jump up. About a lead of 20 points for Boston, but Afro through mid continually puts pressure onto the pinch, able to find the one onto Encourage. Now he's behind the plate. No one's able to turn because you're so focused on the front, and Afro gets to 4, keeps his life, and has helped to try to keep him covered. But Nedra in a position to at least contest, Encourage to follow, and Cloud9, they were able to keep this pretty mixy. But Boston, likely off of this last 15 seconds, are going to start turning their heads over towards P3 as we jump into a Boston breach listening.
Top man away.
Encourage.
Encourage one new.
Come right then.
I'm saying top.
Trophy
on plane. Not the mid. Yo, I'm in the trench, Webby. Watch out that. That's it. I got the trophy on plane. Watch out. Have a cross on your guys.
On top of the plane.
Top of the plane. Encourage. Watch out. Really weak.
Yeah, back left too. Fuck.
He's on the plane, bro.
Y'all
regain.
I'm going.
What are we doing here? I'm going mid with you. You guys are at our side. Throw nades. Throw your attacks.
Nate, man. Give me shot back.
Shot back up, T1, watch out T1, absolutely, bro. Watch out T1, bro. T1 so dead. I'm one shot, I'm one HP. Stay alive. Low time. Back to our side, back to our side. Top of the plane, top of the plane. I am. Oh, dead.
Let's time.
P5 got me. P5 in time.
Other rest of pusher, okay?
P5 encourage, take your time. Top green, top green. Both there. I'm blocking. You guys can take space, you guys can take child, I'm blocking.
They need to be P5. I'll send in P5 yet.
I'm picking up left, tab left. Chris.
One shot, no.
I don't see anything mid. All good. He's top green.
You're 138 to the right.
Yo, he can be P1.
I'll spawn up,
I hear you, bro. Trying to play my time. P1, watch out, P1, Nedra. In the back on me on the fence. One's on me, front shot. You guys back by wall fence.
Give me a step, bro. I'm hitting left.
In the back on me, two in the back, guys, two in the back. Hide's one shot in the back. Two in the back.
Blue still, how many? They're back on me.
Top, try to go mid. Nice, good shit, two. One time, miss one.
Go right.
Close up, weak.
Top blue weak. Dead. Bad door.
Stunning it.
I done it.
Stun him.
Back door.
One shot, front door, one shot, bro. Shut up, front door.
Front door, encourage.
Back door, Nedra, one shot.
Keeping it mixy here, Jay. I mean, we got break after break, moving over from 3 to 4, and Cloud9 in the lead. Once again, we find ourselves at that point of the map. It's going to be about 200 to 170. Boston looking to put pressure on towards the old time and simultaneously get TJ to challenge new, but Nezra shuts it down. Spawns are all over the place as we move over to P5.
And if you're C9 with 3 players spawning on the backside of hold, you might as well contest that final player and just hope to God that if you are Nezra, you can buy your life long enough to allow us back into the play. It's still going to be C9 contesting for the spawn. C9 lining up the kill feed. There's also pressure through the front, so Spark needs to stay alive and towards the top green, and he wins one massive one-on-one gunfight to keep this presence.
A little help from the shadows there over towards the top side at green. Nice nade from Afro. Keeps his gun up. Lots of damage. Followed up by Purge. TJ right there with him. They combine for an opportunity to keep Boston in the hard point. Next challenge coming through for Cloud9. They're trying to think that the trophy system will keep them safe, but Purge just jumps out and says, nah, I got this. I don't care about your trophies. That leads to a 200 to 190 game. 20 seconds to fight for, and Cloud9 are getting stifled, still spawning behind the hill.
And it's every time Cloud9 reaches that 200-point mark, some players on the opposite side start to get activated. Purge on 4 in a row, just consistently pushes C9 back. It's less than a 10-point difference. You're still going to try to create that extra space if you are the Breeze, because you know the spawns for C9 are going to be over toward the backside of green. But TJ, you don't have the weapon for this engagement, so you might as well make it up close and personal. You have them locked. You have them trapped over towards green, and Boston is soaking up all this P1.
This is so nice, though, from TJ, just creating problems for Cloud9. They do not, again, simultaneously get the player on the back while also hitting from the front. Afro, 3 in a row, able to keep his life. Good help from Spark through the middle of the map. Now off the regen. Afro, yeah, able to find one and make that 2. 5 in a row for Afro. Lead swap late into the game. I've said it once, may as well say it again. Not again if you're Cloud9. It just can't happen again.
I feel like if you're C9, someone has to work on this round. Thankfully, Nezra is going to find the opening. Pushes through Motel, looking for a multi-kill to alleviate the pressure, potentially trying to stay alive, but he quickly gets traded. So Boston are still able to manage to lock down this mid-map. They take the lead right on back, and with only 10 seconds left, it's all about this rotation, and Hyde finds himself in a very good position.
Oh, but Afro sniffs it out. Good damage coming through. Spark able to find Nezra on the long pinch. Now off the time, TJ can make a play, but Hyde still holds the line. Huge double from Hyde. 229 for Boston. About to be the same, if not more, for Cloud9, with Boston spawning over towards the blue side of the map, being held likely by Nezra for now. But encouraging to be the first one forward. He's watching for the jump up. No one here yet. Cloud9 in the lead. Here comes the break attempt for Boston. First shot's good for Afro. Maybe more to come, though. Hardpoint goes open, and it's up to who can actually step forward and get the time now.
30 seconds remaining. Both teams have the win condition right here, right now. You're just looking for the wave of kills to go your way. It's a split kill feed. It's pinstripe. Back and forth we go. But Nezra with the AR is trying to lock it down. And it's Sparty Supreme with the break.
Oh, here we go. 235, 235. Encourage over the top, only able to find one. We continue to go back and forth on this hard point. Neither team can win. Big win from Webby. Looking for more, but is that overchallenged? Could be. A couple of the seconds will go to Boston. They'll also have the numbers. Moving over to P3, but Encourage cuts it off through mid-map. 244 to 236. Cloud9 in control. Boston have to break.
They got to go through green. If you are TJ, you're going to get blessed with an opportunity for a quick position to find an opening kill, but it's sparked through mid-cut.
Crossed up to a fall. Cloud9. No, not again. 245, 245. Webby will have to go. Purge shutting it down. Pistol out will win the game again. How many times is this going to happen to Cloud9?
That's so defeating, Al. I'm telling you, man, that's got to be so tough. Because the last time we saw C9 at the P3, they found the first wave of kills and just simply backed up to that green position to guarantee that those spawns were blocked. This time, in the final moments of the game, you get 2 gunfights to go your way off the rotation. Just no one in a position to block the green spawn. Gives TJ the